12 o'clock. Also around the world at www.kniakrls.com and at www.central.edu. Tim O'Neill's going to tee it up and get ready to boot it away. Good crowd on hand for today's game. Still filing in. Hope everybody's got a parking spot.
And the field looks to be in great shape. Looks dry. We had the students out shoveling the snow, removing the snow. Of course, Thursday night we had some special guest groundskeepers this morning out dumping some sand in some holes in the end zone, scooping some snow. Of course, our legendary coach Schipper was out there this morning shoveling snow and moving snow. That poor guy can't stand still. He's I think he's more nervous than Cac is probably right now, or any of the players.
Yeah, you can't take that coach out of him. I'm sure he was thinking about what ifs. You know, what if they came running over to the sidelines and slipped and fell, or found that hole about in the end zone. So you can't take that coach out of him.
Jeff Riddell and Chris Moore are back deep to receive, standing at the 5-yard line. O'Neill getting ready to kick it away. He approaches the football, and the regional final is underway. It's a high spiraling kick. It will be taken by Riddell at the 10-yard line. He comes to the 15, near side 20. Still on his feet, 25, gets a block to the 30, to the 35, brought down at the 36-yard line. St. John's will set up 1st and 10 with pretty decent field position.
Good field position that time. A good return along the near sideline here. Good blocking up front, and just a good run back. St. John's will start out. We'll see the offense, who's averaging about 300, just over 300 yards through the air and 100 on the ground. So a pretty potent offense for the Johnnies.
Johnny's offensive line: Brett Vogt, Brian Bowman, Josh Derlam, Chris Silvato, Jeff McGalena. The tight end is Nate Kirshner. The wide receivers: Blake Elliott and Jeremy Forcell. The fullback, Chris Moore. The tailback, Aaron Kreitch. And the quarterback is Tom Linneman. On 1st and 10, he takes the snap. The ball is batted up in the air, nearly picked off. It falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson did a nice job coming from his defensive tackle position in there. Had his hand up. They came out with trips to the left that time right away, telling everybody they're going to throw the ball. And we were up there with our hands up and knocked the ball down. Nice job by Anderson.
Dutch defense, the traditional 5-2, Justin Snyder, Ryan Anderson, Nate Hansen, Steve Perkins, John Van Hukelum. The linemen, Austin Bonham and Jeff Sanger. The linebackers, the corners, Chad Klein and Nate Korsman. The safeties are Brick Nelson and Nick Turner. 2nd and 10. Man goes in motion to the far side of the field. The handoff up the middle. A little bit of room to go to the 40, 45-yard line. Brought down at the 46. Will be close to a 1st down on the carry by Moore.
Well, there's that draw play, taking advantage of Central's attacking defense that gets upfield, attempts to get to the quarterback. Of course, you make those seams, and the back just slips through there, picks up a nice game before the linebackers and D-backs can get a hold of him.
Gain of 10 brings up 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Receivers are split to either side. Backs are split as well behind the quarterback, Tom Linneman. Man in motion is Forcell going to the far side, dropping back. Linneman looking to pass. Now he's under pressure, thrown down at the 41-yard line.
Couldn't see who got in there to make that tackle, but whoever it was just rarely pushed his offensive lineman over and crushed him and was able to land him up. I think it was Ryan Anderson.
I think you're right. Loss of 5 on the sack brings up 2nd and 15. Linneman had lots of time. Then he stepped up in the pocket and didn't see those red jerseys right there next to him.
Credit the coverage that time on the Central secondary for not giving Linneman anything to throw at and giving Anderson time to get there.
Central in the red uniforms today with the white pants, and St. John's in the all white with the red trim. 2nd and 15. Linneman looking for the quick throw. The catch is made at the 40-yard line, breaking one tackle to the 45, on his feet to the 49-yard line. Jeremy Forcell. It'll bring up 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
That was a good block out there by number 86, Phil Trier, Princeton, Minnesota, 6'3", wide receiver out there. He was blocking one of our cornerbacks out there to spring that receiver open for a few more yards.
3rd and 7 coming up. The ball's at the 49-yard line. Key play for the Dutch defense. Backs are split. Linneman drops back, has time. Now he's looking to throw over the middle, and the catch is made. No, it's dropped at the 40-yard line. Incomplete pass.
The ball was thrown just a little bit behind the intended receiver, and he had it for a second and came down and hit the ground and jarred it loose, and the Dutch will get it back.
And Klein jumped up immediately and said, incomplete. Wanted to make sure it wasn't a catch, and down by having his knee down, it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, they sent a lot of receivers that time. They had both their wide receivers and slot back out in the pattern and ran both the backs out of the backfield into a pattern. So, boy, there's a lot of people out there to throw to.
Charlie Carr standing at his 35-yard line will punt, and Chad Klein standing back at the 15 will return for Central. Snap is to Carr is a good one. Gets the kick away. It's a high spiraling kick. Klein will come up, and he'll call for the fair catch at the 21-yard line. Drops the football and rolls it out of bounds. It will be Central football.
Klein's keeping things interesting back there. He think the wind kind of got it the last, well, maybe not. The flag was blowing earlier, but now it's limp. But the ball just kind of died on Klein, and he caught it on the hop, and he was able to recover it, and the Dutch will have a first down.
Dutch on offense look like this today. The right tackle, Matt Jones, right guard, Matt Peterson, the center, Reed Evans, the left guard, Darrell Rouser, the left tackle, Alex Dorr, the tight end is Chris Biegler. The fullback is Joe Ritzert, the tailback is Aaron Ashman, the wingback Kurt Long, the wideout Joe Kane, and the quarterback, of course, is Scott Korselman. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. 4 receivers set, 2 to each side, and the give up the middle to Ritzert to the 25-yard line will be a gain of 1. Ritzert, the lone setback, as they split all the receivers out.
Well, that's definitely a change-up, being used to seeing Central's kind of vanilla-style offense with the pro formation with I-backs, and they come out with 4 splits and a fullback.
Right. Now Biegler and Ashman actually come in. Goose and McCullough were in on the first play.
McCullough, I guess, sometime during the course of practice sprained his ankle a little bit, so we'll have to see how well he does this ball game.
2nd and 9 from the 25-yard line. Formation shifts now. Receiver split to either side. Kane to the far side, Long to the near side. I formation. This time they give to Ashman in the backfield. Gets a block. He fights his way to about the 28-yard line for a gain of 3.
Just a straight second man through. Ashman took the ball on a nice handoff, and good lead block by the fullback. We'll have to see where they spot the ball here. Pick up, looks like of about 3 or 4. Brings up about 3rd and about 5.
Central's going to need big games from Ashman and Jesse Collins and Joe Ritzert all today, with Joey Lickway out with the separated shoulder.
Yeah, we know that Aaron Ashman can step up to the challenge. We hope that we can get a little maybe wider with Jesse Collins maybe coming in there.
3rd and 5 from the 29. 2 receivers split right, 1 to the left. I formation in the backfield. Korselman under center, long count. Hard count takes the snap. This time the give is to Ashman again, looking for a block. Dives across the 30, fights his way to about the 32. He'll be shy of a first down.
Well, the Dutch want to establish the run on their first series, and they went 3 running plays. They got 8 yards, not enough for the first down, but well, you got to give them credit for sticking to their guns in the first series.
Right.
So O'Neill will kick it away. He's standing back inside his 20-yard line and back deep to return at the 35-yard line for St. John's is Chris Moore. Back Blake Elliott as well. A low snap. O'Neill gets it up, kicks it away, end over end kick. He'll come to the near sideline. Moore will make the catch at the 35-yard line. He's tackled at the 39 by about 5 red jerseys.
Brick Nelson and John Van Hoeklam down there immediately to get him and limit his return to about a yard or 2.
Good coverage that time. A lot more riding on this game. We got Iowa versus Minnesota on this. If you look down the schedule or look down the roster of St. John's, you see almost all Minnesota kids with a few kids from North Dakota, South Dakota, and of course you look down at Central College group, it's all Iowa. So a little bit riding on the state competition here.
1st and 10 coming up from the 39-yard line. Linneman drops back, hands off, draw play up the middle. Moore on the carry to the 40 to the 45-yard line, near sideline, and he'll be wrapped up at the 48. And he's going to be close to a first down, but I think he may be about a half-yard shy, depending on the spot.
That same draw play that they ran first series ran off to the near side here. We're going to see that play a lot, guys. With Lindemann, the prolific passer that he is, he's going to send a lot of receivers out there, and we're going to have our defensive down men really coming hard for the pass rush, and it's going to force our linebackers to pick up those backs out of the backfield, and it's going to leave that draw play open quite a bit. 2nd
and a yard from the 48-yard line. Backs are split, receivers split to either side. It's Porcel to the near side of the formation. The give is to Noah, fake in the backfield and drop back and inside the 40-yard line. Linneman, he's tackled at the 38.
Oh, he took a shot too that time. Steve Perkins coming from his defensive position there. Lindemann was trying to fish hook back out to the near side, and he just ran straight into Perkins, and he just lowered the boom on him.
Still looking for the license plate on that red truck.
Lindemann was up on his knees, ready to get up, and now he's back down on his knees and head. And like you said, guys, it's just, I think the handoff is
42 touchdowns, almost 3,000 yards through the air. The backup, Ryan Keating, has only thrown for 400 yards on 48 attempts.
Boy, you look at St. John's starting offensive line. They go 225, 225, 246, 265, 265, so they're not real big up front. And I think it's going to be an interesting matchup today with the speed of Central's defensive line versus the speed of and the size of St. John's offensive line. Maybe, hopefully, our pass rush can get upfield and get to the quarterbacks like they got to Linneman now.
At first, I thought it may have been a concussion or he got the wind knocked out of him or something with his arm, but the way he's hobbling off the field, I'm wondering if it has something to do with the legs.
Yeah, well, it could be just that he's wobbly because he really took a one right in the face. He turned around and Perkins was right there and just lowered the boom on him. It was no protection at all. I feel bad for Tom. He's a great football player, and you hate to see that happen. But they got their second string quarterback in there, Ross Denny, now out of Avon, Minnesota.
3rd and 9 from the 40-yard line. The throw over the middle, and that is nearly picked off and went through the hands of Casey Houston.
The ball was tipped by the receiver, and it was a jump ball, and unfortunately it was just a little bit behind Casey Houston. He couldn't come up with it. But the Dutch are going to get it back in good field position after this punt.
Yeah, Denny came into the game, Ross Denny, and instead of Ryan Keating had been the backup all season, but Denny, the 3rd stringer, was the one who threw that football.
Yeah, Denny, he threw a nice strike that time. The ball was just a little bit high, and the receiver couldn't quite hold on to it, but actually delivered the ball pretty well.
So to kick it away for the Johnnies, Charlie Carr, and standing back at the 30-yard line is Chad Klein, a high end over end kick, and he's going to call for the fair catch at the 30-yard line. Takes a little bit of a hug from Brownlee and comes to the near sideline. Central sets up 1st and 10.
And this sun, Chad's got to look right straight up into that sun. He's catching the ball. The punt's coming from south to north, and he's looking straight up into that southern sky. And with a high noon sun, he's looking right into it. So I credit him for 2 pretty good catches right now on punts.
I never did give you the Johnnies defense. They line up with 5 down linemen as well. Phil Trier, Nick Bruns, Alex Wesley, Brian Zerbis, and Ryan Danielson are linemen. Bo Labor and Tim Pahula are the linebackers. The corners, Will Gibson, Andy Hover, and the safeties, Brad Byer and Mark Jerzak. 1st and 10 from the 30. Play action. Corselman looking to throw long to the far sideline. And he overthrew Corseman as he was tangled up with the Mark Jerzak, the strong safety.
Yeah, McCullough was out there running a deep out pattern, and they got tangled up and couldn't get loose, and Corseman ended up just throwing it away. I don't know if he saw McCullough actually go down, but clearly it was, we couldn't tell whether or not there was pass interference on that. There was some discussion about that out there in the field, but who knows.
2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line. I formation, long goes in motion. Corseman under center. Hard count, takes the snap. This time they give us to Ashman looking for a block, and he's going to be wrapped up by Jerzak after a gain of 1.
Boy, so far the defensive lines on both teams are really controlling that line of scrimmage. Other than a couple draw plays for St. John's, no success on the ground, and the Dutch now 4 straight running plays or 4 running plays they've run with very little success.
Yeah, Dutch tried to catch them off guard a little bit with a little sprint draw, but their defensive line just stood right in there and held their own.
3rd and 9 coming up. East Regional, 6 minutes left to go in the second. Widner leads Springfield 23-13. I formation on 3rd and 9. Corseman looking to throw, has time, goes to the far sideline. The catch is made by McCullough, dives for the sticks, but it'll be about a yard shy of a 1st down, and it looks like the Dutch will have to punt once again.
McCullough running a out pattern there, trying to pick up the 1st down, but the defensive back did a nice job of forcing him to make his out cut just a little sooner than what he wanted to. He needed to go down about 8-10 yards and then make the out, but he turned in about 5, and so it's about 4th and about 1.
Tim O'Neill standing at the 25-yard line will punt it away. Back deep, Blake Elliott and Chris Moore. They're standing about the 25-yard line of the Johnnies. There's the snap. O'Neill's kick is a strong one, a high spiral. It'll be taken by O'Neill at the 25-yard line. He's wrapped up immediately, Blake Elliott.
Great coverage that time, just a team coverage downfield. The St. John's receiver decided not to take the fair kick, and Brick Nelson was there. Casey Houston, a couple other members of the Central punt team were down there and really corralled him right after he got that ball. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Johnny set up on their 3rd series.
A lot of punts so far, but so far now this exchange of punts here has given Dutch a little bit better field position.
Chris Moore, Aaron Crike split in the backfield. Receiver split to either side. And the give in the backfield is to Moore. There's nothing there. He's dropped back at the 21-yard line for a loss of 3. Very close to being movement against the Dutch.
Yeah, no flag on that play, but evidently the hike or the snap must have been on 1 or on 1 or 2. Who knows? And the offensive line didn't move, and we just crushed him.
2nd and 13. The ball back at the 21-yard line. Receivers are split wide to the near side is Jeremy Forcell. Blake Elliott split away from us. Also receiver in the slot on the far side, Nate Kirshner. Dropping back, having time, Denny. Now he's going to be wrapped up and dropped back at the 14-yard line. And look who's done it again for Central. Getting in there, Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson having a great first quarter so far. That's a couple big plays already, a couple sacks for him. That time just the containment got to him. Denny had nowhere to run, and Anderson got him as he tried to head out of the pocket.
Loss of 7 on that sack. We'll bring up 3rd and 20. 3 sacks for a loss of 20 yards today so far by the Dutch defense.
Well, the Dutch defense looks fired up out there today. They look like they've got some attitude, they've got the momentum, and they look like they're come ready to play. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 away from us. Denny drops back, he's looking to throw. Now he's dropped back at the 5-yard line. In there this time for Central on the play is number 53, Justin Snyder. I just saw his dad in the parking lot who said he wanted his kid's name called on the air tonight. And not about a half step behind him, 38 Ryan Anderson in there also.
Yep, both of them just took care of their offensive linemen and just really shucked them aside. Both right on top of the quarterback.
4th and 27, and punting from his own end zone will be the punter for the Johnnies, Charlie Carr, the sophomore, 6'1", 175 pounds. Jack Klein standing inside the St. John's 40. He's standing right where that sand was placed in the end zone earlier by Coach Schipper. The kick is a short one. It'll roll to about the 30-yard line, take a Central hop, and it'll be down at the 27-yard line. Central sets up 1st and 10 in great position.
That's got to give the offense a lot of inspiration right now. We got the ball on 27-yard line. You should be able to punch it in from here.
Guys, St. John's had 1st and 10 from their own 24. Now Central gets the ball back, 1st and 10 from the St. John's 27.
Right.
A net of 3 yards of field position change there.
Dutch offense comes onto the field. 6:05 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score. Dutch break the huddle. Corson will step up under center. Receivers are split to either side. On this side, Long and Kane. Now everybody goes in motion again. Biegler comes to the tight end near side. 2 receivers to the right are Kane and McCullough. Long is waving things off. I think we're going to see a pass to the right side. No, it's going to be give up the middle to Ritzert. He gets to the 25-yard line before he's met. And it'll bring up 2nd down and about 8.
Well, heads-up play by Kurt Long, recognizing that the formation, we didn't have the tackle on that side covered, so we waved at the receiver to get up on the line of scrimmage and make that tackle and ineligible receiver and get that receiver eligible.
Jesse Collins comes into the game, and McCullough will come out. 2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line. 5:40 left to go in the first quarter. No score.
That's great to have Kurt Long back after about 7 games this season when he was injured. It's great to see him out there playing.
Dutch will change the formation once again. 2 receivers split to the right. I formation in the backfield. Korsman under center. Hard count, takes the snap. This time the give is to Collins. He's got a gap. He's to the 15. Still on his feet inside the 10. Still on his feet. He's going to be brought down at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for the Dutch. Excuse me, that's the 13. I'm sorry.
Nice hold in there that time for Jesse Collins. Jesse Collins making his first carry of the day. Hit that gap hard and just sprinted up for that 1st down. Did a nice job. Good blocking inside there by the offensive line on that right side, and good lead block by Ritzert.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line.
And a great run by Collins. Boy, he kept those feet churning in there, hit a pile, kept the pile moving forward. A nice little run for the sophomore from Eldora, New Providence.
McCullough and Long split wide right. Goose and Kane split wide left. Korsman steps up under center. Takes the snap. The give in the backfield, pushing his head forward, diving across the 10-yard line, getting to about the 7-yard line this time is Joe Ritzert.
Joe Ritzert that time, once he got made contact with the line, just put his head down and started bowling it, picked up about another 2-3 yards.
Oh, it's fun to watch that when those backs go in there, and there's no hole, but boy, they're bound, determined to go in there and make a hole, or move the pile.
2nd and 6 coming up from the 9-yard line. So again, a 4 by Ritzert. Same formation, split to the near side. It's Kane, and then Goose in the slot. Far side, Long is in the slot, and McCullough's the wide out. Korsman under center, rolls out to the right, option to Ritzert. Ritzert looking for a block downfield, gets to about the 5-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Nice little option play that time, and Korsman was taken on by the defensive end, so he pitched it out to Ritzert in that tailback position. Actually, as a fullback, he's lone back there and ends up being the pitch man. Picks up 2 or 3 more yards, brings up 3rd and about 2.
Now we know Ritzert can catch too. I'm wondering if it's just a matter of time before we see the empty backfield.
We're doing a good job with our receivers of stretching that defense out and see if that offensive line can create a seam for Ritzert this time.
3rd and 2 from the 5-yard line. 2 receivers either side. Korsman under center. Long count, takes the snap, and the central line jumped. Over here on the left side of the line, one of the linemen jumped for the Dutch.
Just couldn't hold on. I don't know if Corson was trying to get them to jump, because it was definitely a long count. I don't think he was making any changes to the play, but clearly we jumped on that. It's going to push us back. It's going to be 3rd and 7. That's too bad, because we were in a perfect position to pick up the first down here and make it 1st and go.
At least that time it's a dead ball foul, and they'll move it back 5 yards instead of having the defense decline it.
Believe it, we might have ran out of time though. I had one eye on the field, one eye on the clock, and we were about down to 2 ticks left on the play clock. And maybe Corseman was eyeing that also, but it was getting pretty nip and tuck.
Goose and McCullough come out. We'll go back to the I formation. A receiver to either side. Kane near side, Long away from us. Is Ritzert and Collins in the backfield. Now Long comes in motion to the near side. Corseman takes the snap, rolls out to the near side, has time. Now he's going to roll out further. He may run with it. No, he'll throw for the end zone. Overthrows Kane. And he'll bring up 4th down.
Well, St. John's had good pursuit that time, getting to the corner and preventing Corseman from turning the corner. And he had to stop in a hurry and throw that ball and run into his left. And being a right-handed quarterback, that's a really tough throw to get any accuracy and zip on. And he just couldn't quite get it where he needed it to be.
Big Tim Pahula from St. John's was putting a lot of heat on Corseman that time too, and as soon as Corseman let go of the ball, he really took a shot from him.
Tim O'Neill will attempt the field goal. This will be a 27-yard attempt. And right now, he's just hoping he doesn't slide and fall down, as he did on his last attempt. The ball is down, the kick is up, it's got the distance, and it is good! 3:01 left to go in the first quarter. Central is up 3-0. You are listening to college football on the home of the Dutch, 92.1 FM, KRLS. The kickoff is taken at the 10-yard line, down the far sideline, 15-20, still on his feet, wrapped up, knocked out of bounds about the, looks like the 32-yard line on the return is Jeff Riddell.
Well, St. John's doesn't do anything really spectacular or fancy on that. It's just good, solid blocking over there on the far side. And it seems like the receiver, once he catches the ball on the kickoff, really isn't sprinting super hard. He actually lets the blocks get made up ahead of him. Sometimes I think that's a smart move, because a lot of times the receiver will outrun their block.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. And the pitch comes to the near side on the carry. Moore, he gets to the 30, to the 35, brought down at the 36, and it looks like the starting quarterback is back into the game, Tom Linneman.
Yeah, that's number 8, Linneman, back in there at quarterback. That time just the reverse pivot and run a little toss sweep action. And Linneman looks to be okay.
Yeah,
bring up
like
2nd and 7.
Well. That's good coverage over here on our defensive side here on the coming up with our cornerbacks to keep that ball, keep it contained.
2nd and 7 from the 37-yard line. Receivers aren't split. Linneman drops back, has time. He's going to throw over the middle, and that is overthrown, falls incomplete. The intended receiver was Nate Kirshner, the tight end.
Boy, I tell you what, Linneman had to get rid of that ball that time. He didn't want to throw that thing, and Ryan Anderson just crushed his offensive lineman, and it was putting the heat on Linneman that time. As soon as he threw it, he just crushed him.
3rd and 7 coming up.
Ryan Anderson just snaked through there and had about 1 step after the quarterback threw it, 1 step to get to Linneman, and he got there, and so that was a perfectly clean hit, but a nice hard clean hit by Anderson to kind of welcome Linneman back in the game.
3 receivers split to the left. The lone setback is Moore. Linneman under center, takes the snap. He's going to throw to the near side, lobs it up in the air, and that is nearly picked off, as Turner was back there, and also back there for the Dutch was Corey Faust.
Yeah, they're trying to pick up Nathan Kirshner on just a little bit of a no-look pass up the sideline, and Kirshner actually stopped a little bit, and Lindemann led him a little too far, but boy, I tell you what, our defensive backs almost were there for the interception.
So Central will force St. John's to punt once again. It'll be Charlie Carr to kick it away, standing at his 25-yard line, and standing back at the Central 30 is Chad Klein.
And Lindemann's injury either appears to be a right leg or groin. As
There's the snap. The kick is away, a high spiraling kick, and Klein will make the catch at the 35-yard line. Tries to get to the far side of the field. He's wrapped up, brought down at the 37. Central set up 1st and 10 with fairly decent field position.
And judging by how Linneman walked off the field kind of tenderly, he's kind of favoring that right leg, and that's good news that it wasn't a concussion, because that's something you wouldn't wish upon anybody, no matter if it's an enemy or a teammate. Those concussions just not something you want to mess with, really.
That's right.
1st and 10 for the Dutch from the 37-yard line at the half in the East Regional. Widner leads Springfield by a score of 30-13. 1st and 10, ball at the 37-yard line. I formation in the backfield. Ritzert now at fullback. Ashelman behind him. Receivers are split. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Korsman looking to throw on 1st down. Overthrows long. And it'll bring up 2nd down as Korsman just put a little bit too much mustard on it.
Yeah, a little bit of a mix-up right there, too. I'm not sure what kind of pattern that was called on that, but Long was going down at about a 10-yard hook, and it looked to me like maybe Korsman was expecting him to go on a little post route, because that's where he was leading him with the ball.
It'll bring up 2nd and 10. McCullough will check out. Long will line up wide to the near side. I formation in the backfield. Brandt and Ashelman. Now Vandenoord will line up tight end on the near side. Korsman under center, takes the snap. Pitch goes to Ashelman backfield. He gets a block, still on his feet, out to the 40-yard line for a gain of 3.
Just a little quick toss to Ashelman that time, and lead blocked by Brandt, kind of off the outside of the tackle on the near side, and Ashelman picks up, looks like about 3 yards.
St. John's defense is really committed to stop that run there. They're playing, looks like man on the receivers, and then 1 safety deep, and the other safety is pretty much being a rover or a monster who's pulling up to usually shadow the strong side of the Central offensive line. And so far they're doing a good job shutting down the run for the Dutch.
3rd and 7 coming up for Central. Kane split wide to the near side. 2 receivers to the right are Long and McCullough. I formation. Korsman takes the snap. Play action pass. He's going to come back to the near side. Has time. Now he's going to step up in the pocket. He escapes 1 tackle. Still on his feet. 45. Far sideline. Dives for the stick. 1st down Central.
That was just a foot race out there to see who could get to that stick first, and Korsman won it that time. The St. John's defender got him right about his legs, just about a yard short, a yard before the sticks, but Korsman was able to stretch out in front of it and get the necessary yards.
Korsman was trying to go deep over here to Long and Kane, who are running some deep patterns, but defensive backs for St. John's did a great job of covering up, so Korsman didn't have any choice but to tuck it away and run it.
1st and 10 from the Central 49-yard line, less than a minute to go here in the 1st quarter. 2 receivers split to either side. The lone setback is Joe Ritzert. He'll get the handoff. He'll cut back to the near side of the field. He's going to get across the midfield stripe to about the 48-yard line.
Those down 4 linemen for the defensive linemen for St. John's just do not budge. They're not giving anything up the middle.
And they're not allowing themselves to get hooked either by the tackles or the tight ends when we're trying to run to the outside. St. John's, and we're running 4 wide. St. John's is going to a nickel package, leaving their 4 front linemen up there. And those guys are really doing a great job. 4 on 5, they're winning most of the battles up there.
Looks like the Dutch are going to, looks like we're winding down the 1st quarter here, 10 seconds left, and so Dutch are going to walk over to the sidelines here, and Coach Cack will visit with them and make some plans here for the 2nd quarter.
After 1 quarter of play, it is Central College 3, St. John's nothing. You're listening to College Football on the home of the Dutch, 92.1 FM, KRLS.
Hold on just a second, I'm sorry. Well, I have to.
I need half the spot.
I know.
The Trinity come here, right? If they win.
Yeah, hard to think for one.
All right, here you go.
And welcome back. First play of the 2nd quarter. Ashman dives out to the 41-yard line for a gain of 7. He's going to be close to the 1st down marker. We'll see where they spot it.
That was a good run by Aaron Ashelman that time, picking up a few extra yards after he got hit.
Couple scores in the other regional finals at the half. Mount Union leads Wittenberg by a score of 26-6. And this might be a little bit of good news. In the 1st quarter, Trinity leads Hardin-Simmons 9-0.
Now, if Trinity wins,
the winner of this game will host. No, I take that back. Central would host. St. John's would go on the road either way.
Right. So that'd be great if we could bring Trinity up here. Obviously, we got to win this ball game first, and brought the sticks out here to measure. That run by Asherman brought it pretty close to a first down. Looks like it's going to be about a foot short.
3rd and inch is coming up, and you've got to look at the stats there, Kurt.
First quarter stats, the 2 first downs for the Dutch, 1 for the Johnnies. Of course, the score 3-0 Central. Rushing yards, St. John's, 8 rushes, -8 yards, 46 yards for 11 carries for the Dutch.
3rd and inch is coming up, the ball at the St. John's 41-yard line.
Passing, the Dutch are 1 for 4, St. John's 1 for 6. And that's about it.
All set, ready for play. I formation in the backfield. 1 receiver split to the left is long, and the run up the middle. That'll be a first down as Korsman just takes it himself.
Just off the left side of the center, gave Reed Evans a little tap, and boom, shot forward for about 2-yard gain. Easy first down.
1st and 10 coming up from the 38-yard line. We've got 14:44 left to go in the first half. It is 3-0 in favor of the Dutch.
Kind of a really fast-moving first quarter, and a lot of running the ball, and just a good defensive standoff so far.
2 receivers split to the either side of the field. On the near side, it's McCullough and Long. Kane and Goose away from us. Lone setback is Ritzer. And Korsman's going to fake the pass, then throw it himself. He's got some room. He's across the 30, still on his feet. Brought down at the 24-yard line.
Scott Korsman that time took about 2 steps back, faked the pass, and did a quarterback draw, and just really ran hard right up to the middle. As soon as the safety came up to make the tackle, put his head down and just lifted him up like a bull and kept going and picked up about 3 or 4 more yards. I tell you what, great run by Scott Korsman.
Actually, they'll mark him all the way to the 21.
And the safety isn't going to like it, but anytime a quarterback levels a guy, you got to mention his name. That's Brad Byer, the junior D-back, 6'2", 200.
I formation on 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Korsman takes the snap to give us to Collins in the backfield, and he gets to the 20 for a gain of 1.
A little second man through that time for Jesse Collins. Jesse doing a nice job of getting to the line, but good job by the defensive line again by St. John, just scraping off and just shucking their block and being able to slide over and make that tackle.
2nd and 9 coming up. Central has the football just outside the 20-yard line.
Well, Dutch would like to get, once they get down in the red zone down here, Dutch would like to get this thing in the end zone. Last year, they had to settle for 3 touchdowns once they got inside, or 3 field goals, and they'd rather score here.
Long goes in motion. Branton Asherman in the backfield. Korsman takes the snap. The give is to Asherman up the middle. He's going to dive to about the 17-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, there is just not much inside that St. John's defensive line. They give them credit for really sticking to their guns and planting themselves in there and not allowing themselves to get pushed back, because they are really making it tough for that Central offensive line right now.
And like you said before, Kurt, we haven't really tried to get outside, and what we have tried a couple times, and their linemen do a good job of not getting hooked inside. So we haven't seen Jesse Collins run to the outside yet either. It'd be interesting to see what would happen if tried to get outside with Jesse Collins.
3rd and 6 from the 17-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right, I formation. In the backfield, it's Branton Asherman. Korsman under center takes the snap. He's looking to throw. He pumps once. Now he's going to run again up the middle. This time he's going to be tackled at the 16-yard line. He'll bring up 4th down.
I don't think he really wanted to run that ball. I think he was trying to catch Long going across to the post, but boy, their defensive backs for St. John's do a good job of covering up. There really isn't a whole lot there to throw to, so Korsman again had to tuck it away and try to run. At least he didn't get tackled for a loss, and we still have a pretty decent shot at a field goal here.
Tim O'Neill will try it again. This one will be about 35 yards. Joe Kane will hold. 12:08 left to go here in the first half. Central already up 3-0.
Well, maybe that play last week got the creative juices flowing, and we put in a trick field goal fake or something here this week. Who knows?
We will see. There's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is blocked. It's blocked behind the line of scrimmage. Kane will pick it up. He drops the football again. This time, St. John's falls on it, and this time it'll be the Johnnies football.
It looked like it was a good snap. It looked to me like the kick was a good attempt. It was just a breakdown on the inside there, and looked like they were able to get through there and get a hand up. That's a blow that the Dutch sure don't want to have happen. Those are the types of big plays that can change the momentums of a game, and we don't want that to happen.
So the Johnnies will take over 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line after the blocked kick.
Well, that hurts. That really, more than a missed field goal, that really swings momentum on St. John's side, too.
Yeah, it does.
Backs are split 1st and 10. Ball actually at the 39-yard line. 2 receivers, or 1 receiver either side. To give up the middle on the carry. Moore across the 40 to about the 43.
Good job in there by our defensive line to keep him contained. Actually, he picked up a little more than I thought he did. It looks like he picked up about 3 yards.
2nd and 7 coming up.
Well, it seems like we're kind of lulling St. John's to sleep so far. We're really established in the run game, but sooner or later those passes and everything we're gonna have to attempt and hopefully get one of those.
One receiver to either side. Backs are split in the backfield. Tom Linneman steps up under center. On 2nd and 7, he hands off in the backfield to Moore. Moore's got some room to the outside. He gets to the first down marker to the midfield stripe. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 50.
Austin Bonema was able to scrape over and make the tackle, but not until he picked up the first down. It was just a little off tackle to the wide side over there, and picked up good yards.
Ball at the midfield stripe. 11:04 left to go in the first half. Central up 3-0.
I don't know if this is by design with Lindeman maybe hurting just a little bit, but clearly they've tried to establish a little bit of a run here.
Lindeman drops back under pressure. The ball's loose. They're still fighting for it. I believe St. John's recovered.
St. John's got it.
Boy, Lindeman took a shot again that time by Justin Snyder, and ball came squirting loose, but they were able to fall back on it. Looks like about a 7-8 yard loss, brings up 2nd and about 15.
And we haven't seen the Central defense get to a quarterback this often and this early.
No.
Against a quality team like St. John's
Usually
in a
second
long
half.
time.
Yeah.
It'll be 2nd and 14 from the 46-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side. Back split once again. 1 receiver split wide right. Lindeman takes the snap, and this time the give is to Moore up the middle, and he's got some room again. Bottom will wrap him up at the Central 48-yard line, so he gets to the line of scrimmage and 2 more.
Well, linebackers did a good job of reading it that time. They knew almost for sure that it was going to be a draw, and they held themselves in there. But a couple of reasonably good blocks out there by St. John's to spring him for about 6-7 yard gain.
And it's kind of by design. St. John's running these draws. We're having success getting upfield, getting to the quarterback. Everybody wants to get in there, and all of a sudden, boop, there goes the draw, and that backs by your defensive lineman before you know it.
Blake Elliott, Jeremy Purcell split wide to the near side. In the backfield, Chris Moore and Aaron Crike. This time, the give is to Moore, right side, looking for a block, still on his feet. He's still on his feet, gets across the 45 to about the 43-yard line, but he's 3 yards shy of a first down.
That's going to bring up 4th down, and I'm sure that they'll punt it away because their punter has been doing a pretty good job of kicking it away, and we're going to have to field that thing probably back on about the 5-yard line. We'll see the Dutch if they're going to be going back into punt receive, and haven't shifted back there yet. They're going to allow the ball to go ahead and be punted. I don't know. I might go back there and try to field this thing in an event that it's a poor punt.
Now Klein's going back.
Klein's going back there now.
Carr standing at his 40-yard line. Klein going back to about his own 10.
Oh, fumble.
The kick is up in the air. And Klein will make the running catch at the 15-yard line. Far sideline dives to about the 19, and that's where Central will set up 1st and 10.
Well, it's a good thing that he was back there because the kick wasn't especially good, and had it bounced and rolled, that thing would have looked like it would have rolled out about the 8 or 9 yard line. So it was a good thing that Klein went back there.
Very good heads-up play by Klein that time.
Central sets up 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. 8:45 left to go in the first half. 3-0 in favor of the Dutch.
The field looks like it's holding up pretty well so far.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty solid. Don't seem to see any soft spots. A chunk of dirt goes flying occasionally, but that's about it.
Split wide to the left is Long. Split wide to the near side is Kane. I formation. Korsman takes the snap. The pitch in the backfield to Collins. Collins out across the 20 to about the 21-yard line.
Well, nothing there. Just a little quick pitch to the far side, and Jesse tried to cut it up off the tackle. But again, good job by St. John's, and they're scraping it off by the linebackers to make the tackle.
In case you missed it, Joey Lickway not playing today. He has a separated shoulder. And Coach Kakarinsky says he probably will be ready to go for next week.
Really?
He actually, he said if he needed to play today, he probably could have, but he wants to make sure he's 100% for next week. 2nd and 8 coming up from the 21-yard line. I formation. And Korsman takes the snap, play action. Now he rolls out to the near side, and the catch will be made by... No, it's knocked out of his hands at the last second. Nice defensive coverage by Mark Jerzak.
Well, we had Collins open on the swing a little bit earlier, and Korsman looked at him, looked him off, looked downfield, then came back to Collins. But that time, St. John's had been out there, or had seen Collins out there in the flat, and they had sent somebody out there to pick him up, and we're not able to complete the pass to him.
All right, ball a little bit thrown a little bit behind Jesse, and so he had to really kind of turn his body and try to get up there to catch the ball. Probably wouldn't have gone too far once he did catch the ball. It looked to me like Chris Beegler in the tight end position was open, going right up the middle there, but Corseman looked him off.
3 receivers set to the near side. Long and McCullough. Now Long goes in motion. He'll line up the slot on the far side. Dropping back is Corseman. Has time. Wants to come back. The catch is made over the middle of the field. Long. And that's only going to be a gain of about 2-3 yards. Well shy of a first down.
Try to catch the St. John's defensive back sleeping a little bit there. Try to drag Long across the inside here, but boy, nice job there by St. John's to not let that happen.
Central will punt. Tim O'Neill standing at the 10-yard line. Going back to receive for St. John's. At the 40-yard line is Chris Moore and Blake Elliott. The kick is away, and O'Neill almost gets his legs rolled up underneath him, as Elliott will make the catch at the 40-yard line, and he's wrapped down at the 43.
Great punt by Tim O'Neill that time. Tim's getting good height, good distance, and really kind of kicked us out of a hole right down there. And looks like they'll take over on about the 42, 43-yard line.
And the punt coverage has been excellent, too. The punt coverage team getting down there and really limiting their returns to a couple yards at most.
Yeah, a lot of times when you kick those long kicks like that, you can out-kick your coverage, but they've really been getting down there.
1st and 10. 7:22 left to go in the first half. Dutch up 3-0. Split wide to the near side of the field. 3 receivers. And 1 split wide right. Lone setback. And dropping back, Linneman has a little bit of time, throws a screen pass out to the far side. Moore is hammered.
Oh, my goodness. Chad Klein came from his cornerback position and just lowered the boom on number 41, Chris Moore, as he was going out into the flat over on the far side there. Lindeman laid the ball up just a little bit too high, and Moore caught the ball and just got hammered by Chad Klein.
Loss of 4 on the play brings up 2nd and 14.
And Lindeman did hang him out to dry a little bit in a high pass and had his body turn and never saw Klein coming, and just a nice, clean hit. Klein laying the shoulder into him. 2
to the right, 1 to the left. Backs are split. Lindeman drops back. Under pressure again. He's hit as he's thrown, and it's out of bounds, incomplete.
Yeah, Chad Klein had pretty good coverage over there on the wide receiver. Number 4, Jeremy Forsell, couldn't get loose, and so Lindeman had let the ball go just a little bit sooner than we want to.
3rd and 14 coming up.
We got to start keeping count, and to my count, I think that's 5 times that Brian Anderson has ended up on top of Lindeman or any other St. John's quarterback, and this is only halfway through the second quarter.
6:44 left to go. Backs are split again. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Lindeman drops back. Under a little bit of pressure, he'll step up in the pocket, throws the short pass. The catch is made by Crank at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 4th and long.
Good job in there by Austin Bonema to not get too excited about that deep pass threat. He stayed right in there and took the receiver as he came out of the backfield and held him for only a short gain.
But Johnny's will punt it away. Brick Nelson will go back to return this time for Central. He's standing at the 25-yard line, as Charlie Carr will kick it away. He's standing at the 30.
Chad Klein over here on the bench for some reason. I hope he's all right, because he's usually our receiver down here.
Carr has the kick blocked. It's up in the air. Korsman can't hang on to the football, and now he falls on it. Somebody else fell on it for Central. It will be 1st and 10 inside the 30.
Well, that punt was blocked, and it cartwheeled straight up in the air, and Nate Korsman just sat underneath it waiting for it to come down. He had nothing but green pasture all the way to the end zone in front of him, and it came down kind of spiraling a cartwheel, and he couldn't hold on to it, but the Dutch will get the ball back anyway.
Well, if Nate Korsman would have caught that, nobody would have caught him going to the end zone. I knew that was going to happen sooner or later because we were getting close on those punts almost every time.
Central has it 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. 5:56 left to go in the first half. The Dutch have great field position once again.
Chad Klein down here rung Moore's bell down there. I hope Chad's okay. He's got his helmet off, but looks like he's kind of talking okay.
Long and McCullough split wide near side. Kane away from us. I formation. The fake to Ashman looking to throw. Korsman's got all day over the middle. Kane in the end zone. It's knocked away. And then McCullough makes the catch. McCullough makes the catch. Touchdown Central.
But Kane clear down there deep, and Korsman throws it way into the end zone, and both the defensive back and Kane are up there, and they tip the ball, and McCullough runs underneath it, catches it for the touchdown.
Fellas, sometimes it's better to be lucky than be good.
That's for sure.
And we'll take it.
2 weeks in a row, Central gets amazing touchdowns.
McCullough I think someone was running the wrong route because McCullough should not be that close. But
well, I think what happened on
there.
that is once the ball was thrown, McCullough broke off his route, and the ball was thrown so far and so long. McCullough was quick, and he was able to get over there.
The extra point attempt. The ball is down. The kick is up. It's got the distance. It is good. 5:48 left to go in the first half. Your Central Dutch 10, St. John's nothing. You're listening to college football on 92.1 FM KRLS. .548 left to go in the first half. A squib kick will be rolling past the first line. It'll be picked up by Moore at the 20-yard line. Looking for a block. Cuts back to the middle of the field, 30, 34-yard line before he's ramped up. And St. John's will start in good field position. But Central has taken a 10-0 lead on an amazing touchdown catch by Chris McCullough.
Boy, I tell you what, it could have been an interception down there because the defensive back was actually in front of Kane. But Kane did a nice job of going up and getting his hand in there, tipping it up in the air. And I think McCullough was on actually more of a out flag pattern over here, but he's so fast that once he saw the pass, he cut over and would have to be in the vicinity when the ball was caught.
And so far, fellas, defense, offense, special teams, I think it just looks like we're out hustling them.
Yeah, I do too.
We want it just a little bit more.
1st and 10, Lindemann under center, backs are split. He takes the snap. The handoff is to Moore in the backfield. He's going to be met, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Boy, Steve Perkins just crushed his offensive lineman that time and forced Moore to kind of cut back, and I think Perks actually made the tackle, didn't he?
There was a pile of bodies out there, and Moore really had no place to go, and I think Perkins had a hand on him, and Sean DeWard came in to help finish him off. But just a team effort by the Dutch defense so far this afternoon. Well, the Dutch defense and especially Ryan Anderson.
2nd and 10 coming up.
We haven't called his name for about 3 plays now, and I think he's due.
Lindemann takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Now a shovel pass up the middle. The catch is made by Craig, trying to get to the outside to the 40-yard line. He'll get to the 43. He'll be about a yard shy of a first down.
A nifty little play that time. They had the end coming around. They faked the screen, and the fullback just kind of settled underneath the offensive lineman and found a little hole. And there was the shovel pass and a good run after the catch.
He does get the first down. Gain of 10. It'll be 1st and 10. The ball is marked at the 43-yard line. 4:55 left to go here in the first half. 10-0 Dutch. Jeremy Forsell will be split wide right in the slot. Blake Elliott. 2 receivers two backs in the backfield. Lindemann drops back. Has time. Now throws the shovel pass again. Craig makes the catch. 40, 45, 50. Across midfield. He's going to be met at the central 46-yard line. He'll have another first down.
Now that St. John says, well, if you give it to us one time, we'll take it again the second time. And my guess is they're trying to, not a whole lot different than a draw play. They're taking advantage of spreading us out, trying to run the receivers deep and making it look like a pass, but and taking advantage of our defensive line who are just coming on strong.
1st and 10 from the central 46-yard line. 4:25 and counting left to go first half. Backs are split. 2 receivers to the right side. Lindemann under center. This time the pitch comes to the near side for Moore. Looking for a block. Now he reverses direction. He's going to be met and dropped by Bonema back at the 48-yard line.
Good job stretching that play out by the Central defense. The front 5 were stretching it out. Bonema came in, wrapped him up, and Perkins and DeWard there to help clean up.
Well, Bonema's doing a nice job from his linebacker position there, scraping off and making that tackle. Really covered ground quickly.
Well, it's good to see Chad Klein back out there, but I guess the bad news, we still haven't seen Jeff Sanger yet. His pants are awfully white, and he's not showing any signs of getting in there yet.
2nd and 11 from the 47-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Dropping back Lindemann. Has time, throws long over the middle. He's got Blake Elliott at the 25, 20, 15, and he dances into the end zone. Touchdown, St. John's.
There was definitely a breakdown in the defensive backfield that time. They ran a crossing pattern and looked to me like, was it Nick Turner from his safety position there, checked off just a moment. I don't know if he thought there was going to be a draw play there, and he checked just a moment, and that hesitation, the wide receiver just kept right on running his post route, and Lindemann picked him up. And those 2 shuffle passes might have done a couple things there. It just forced our defensive linemen not to rush quite as hard as they have been. They just hesitated just a little bit, gave Lindemann a little bit longer time.
The extra point attempt will be tried by Joe Rotundi. The ball is down, the kick is up, it's got the distance, and it is good. 3:34 left to go in the first half. It is Central 10, St. John's 7. You are listening to college football on the home of the Dutch, 92.1 FM, KRLS. Go in the first half. Central leads 10-7. J.B. Conley, Denny Hansen, Kirk Kaponchik bring you today's action. A 47-yard touchdown pass to Blake Elliott has put St. John's on the board. The kick is a high end-over-end kick. It'll be taken by Ritzert at the 20-yard line. Looking for a block, comes back to the middle field across the 30 to the 35. That's where Central will set up 1st and 10.
Good field position that time. Ritzert took a fairly high kick and just picked his way up, picking up a few blocks and picked up to the about the 30-yard line, 35-yard line.
Well, you're not going to beat St. John's scoring 10 points. Looking down their stats, the St. John's offense, 8th in the nation in passing offense, 8th in scoring offense, 42 points a game, and Linneman 6th in the nation in passing efficiency with a pretty good quarterback rating.
Although the Johnnies offense didn't get going until that last series. Two receivers split wide to the near side, one away from us. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Corlsman under center. Long count. They give him the backfield to Ritzert. He's across the 40-yard line to the 42. It will be a gain. That's Ashelman. It'll be a gain of about 7 yards.
It's a nice quick hitter up the middle to Ashelman that time. Ashelman, I believe, was it was the single setback, and just a quick pop play up the middle, and he had his momentum going forward enough to push that pile ahead for a nice gain.
Ritzert comes in for McCullough. Now be I formation, the backfield. Two receivers to the near side on 2nd and 3. Corlsman under center. Long count this time. The give is to Ashman again. Gets a good block. He's out to the midfield stripe. He's going to be, or to the 45, excuse me. He's going to be very close to a 1st down.
Looks like they're going to spot it about a foot short. Once he hit that line, his feet kind of got tangled up and he wasn't able to keep them churning, so he didn't get that lunge forward to pick up that 1st down. Brings up about 3rd and about half a yard.
McCullough comes back in. 2:23 and counting left to go first half.
Are those cheerleaders over there in the St. John sideline, or do they just miss Halloween?
I don't know. They look like they're throwbacks to the Dark Ages or something.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Long count by Corlsman. Takes the snap, rolls out to the left on the option play. He'll keep it himself. He dives across the 45 for a 1st down.
Yep, good spot that time. He just had to get across that 45-yard line, brings up the 1st down.
Scotty knew where he had to get to, and he saw that gap, and he just hunkered down and wasn't trying to get anything more, just enough for that 1st down.
Football just beyond the 45-yard line. 2:01 left to go in the first half. Central up 10-7.
Well, the Dutch last year were up 3-0 at half. This 3-point advantage is not enough, as you said, Kurt, previously. They're too good of a ball team.
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. I formation in the backfield. Corlsman drops back, has all day. He's looking to throw over the middle, looking for Long, who makes the catch, falling out of bounds, incomplete.
Yeah, nice catch by Long, but he was clearly out of bounds. The ball was thrown very well by Corlsman, but and Long had him beat, but just couldn't quite stay in bounds.
2nd and 10 coming up.
I was kind of hoping for a Chris Carter catch that time, but
get the feet down.
Chris Carter, Randy Moss, who run that pattern so well, they get to the sideline, somehow are able to stop that big body almost immediately at the line, catch the ball and fall out of bounds.
2nd and 10 coming up. Brandt is now in at fullback. Two receivers to the near side, one away from us. Corlsman takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Play action has time once again. Screen pass comes out to Ashman. He's met at the 48-yard line for a gain of 3.
Just a nice little pickup that time. Somebody, a St. John's defender, looked like he had a clean shot at Corlsman, but an offensive lineman just got a hand on him and bumped him off balance at the last second, enabling Corlsman to make that pass.
Minute 20 and counting. 3rd and 7. Corlsman takes the snap, drops back, has time. He's looking to throw. Comes over the middle. Catch. McCullough can't hang on to it at the 40. Incomplete.
Good pass by Scott Corlsman that time. McCullough coming across on a crossing pattern that time, and looks like Kane was going deep. Long was going to the outside. Had a nice shot there for a 1st down, but McCullough couldn't hold on to the ball.
Central will punt with a minute 14 left to go here in the first half.
I hate to give the ball back to St. John's with anytime Linneman probably has an opportunity for a 2-minute drill. He's probably experienced at it.
Jason Flipson back there to receive with Chris Moore. O'Neill standing at the 35-yard line, gets the snap, gets the kick away. It's a high spiraling kick towards Moore at the 20. He'll make the catch at the 17-yard line. Gets one block, tries to cut to the outside. He's wrapped up. He'll be shy of the 25. And once again, great coverage by the Central special teams.
Good kick again by Tim O'Neill. He's really getting a lot of height and a lot of distance today. Good job.
Be 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line with 1:03 left to go in the half.
And plenty of time to be dangerous, as St. John's used to throwing the ball and making the chains move pretty quick here. Central have to be careful not to, or she'll be playing some type of prevent, but not to give them up too much.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts, and Central may consider using them if they get a good defensive stop here on 1st down. Backs are split, a receiver to either side. Linneman takes the snap. The give is to Crike up the middle. He's across the 25-yard line, gets close to the 29 for a gain of 5.
Just a little slashing pattern by the halfback that time, trying to go off the tackle hole on the far side over there, and actually did a pretty good job picking up about 5 yards.
St. John's will call a timeout, 2nd and 5 with 51 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, the Dutch certainly don't want to let anything get behind them on
the national championship in Division III volleyball tonight as well, as Central takes on Wisconsin Whitewater at Kuiper Gym. As Win Veenstra and Mike Sherman will join me for the pregame 7:45 and the first serve at 8 o'clock here on 92.1 FM KRLS.
Great games last night.
Certainly was.
Super ball games last night.
Candace Wilson had a huge night for the Dutch. On 2nd and 5, the handoff up the middle to Moore. He's got some room to go. He's across the 35-yard line to the 40, brought down at the 46-yard line. It'll be a 1st down, gain of 17.
Again, we can't allow first down here, even though we don't want to have anything deep. They get inside that field goal territory, and they got a pretty good kicker.
Linneman will step up under center, 3 receivers to the right. Clock starts again after the ball's set. Linneman drops back under pressure. Now he's going to be dropped once again inside the 40-yard line at the 37. Anderson back in there, and he had some help.
Godike in there, Sean DeWard also, and I was kind of watching downfield. They had 2 receivers running slants kind of about 10 yards apart from each, so that they both looked to have steps on their Central D-backs, but give praise to the Central defensive line for not giving Linneman a chance to even look downfield.
Right.
I believe that is the 5th sack.
Before the ball game, and he had been watching some of the films, and kind of said just exactly what you're talking about, that Linneman really wasn't much of a runner. He really stood back in the pocket, but if our linebackers can keep keen on those halfbacks and not allowing them to get all those yards on those draw plays, we could really be effective here.
67 rushes for a loss of 48 on the season for Linneman. 2nd and 17, 3 receivers to the right. He drops back and hands off. More up the middle to the 45-yard line, dives to the 47. They'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Again, that draw play, just forcing our linebackers to play those halfbacks as they come out of the backfield, and then they're just giving a little bit of a draw.
3 receivers to the right again. Linneman will throw the screen pass out to the far side. The catch is made by Blake Elliott, and he stays on his feet, then gets out of bounds at the Central 45-yard line with 10.6 seconds left to go.
And
be real close to a 1st down.
Yeah, I can't tell where they're going to mark it. I think it's going to be just short. Oh, they're going to call first down.
1st down, and he was running towards the sideline with the sticks on him, and then looked like he knew where he needed to get.
Yeah.
Well, one quick slant pass, and they're in field goal range here.
Right.
They still have 1 timeout left as well, so they can throw over the middle.
It's number 86 here.
Blake Elliott. 3 receivers to the near side. Linneman will hand off up the middle, and Moore won't get anything, maybe 3 yards. And the last timeout will be called with 5.7 seconds left.
That one really surprises me. They wouldn't have gotten any significant yardage with the run play. They would have had to burn their timeout. And I guess
Johns with the football at the Dutch 43-yard line. Good crowd on hand today. A lot of Central fans in town anyway for the Final Four this weekend, and we're able to see a football game while they're here.
What a great sports weekend at Central. National championships in volleyball and the regional finals in football. And for a sports fan, it doesn't get any better than this.
3 receivers to the left. Linneman drops back. Now he steps up in the pocket. He's going to hit again back at the 50. He is sacked for the 6th time as the half comes to an end, and he doesn't want to get up. He's going to be helped up by Anderson, but he doesn't want to get up.
Yeah, this time Steve Perkins just lowered the boom on him, and boy, Linneman, he takes his helmet off as soon as he's walking off, and I tell you what, he's going to be really stiff coming out second half, because his stride is about 2 feet right now as he's walking over to the sidelines.
At the half, it is Central College 10, St. John's 7. You're listening to college football on the home of the Dutch, 92. in the south end zone here in the third quarter. It's a short end-over-end kick. It'll be taken by Ritzert at the 25-yard line. Looking for a block. He's to the 30, and he's going to be brought down at the 37. Central starts with great field position.
Caught from behind a little bit. That defender was clear down the field. The kick was so high, and he was actually came from behind to catch Ritzert. Ritzert was able to find a little bit of a hole and get up into the gap a little bit, but got caught from behind. Good field territory, though.
See McCullough and Long and Goose all come in. We maybe see that four-receiver set once again to start the quarter. We do, as Kane is also lined up wide left with Goose, and to the right side, Long and McCullough. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Corselman under center, long count, takes the snap. They give up the middle to Asherman, fights his way forward, still on his feet, and he picked up maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, just single set backfield that time, and just gave to Asherman just a slash up the middle, but picked up a couple yards. Still trying to find that gap on that defensive line, but so far that line has not let up for St. John's.
2nd and 8 from the 39. Kurt, I heard you got an update on the Trinity score at the half.
We had a second quarter score in the South Regional. The number 7 seed Trinity, Texas, was leading the top seed Hardin-Simmons 16-7, and of course Hardin-Simmons win. They're the host. If Trinity wins, they would host for some reason St. John's, or they would travel up to here to Central, depending on the winner here.
On 2nd and 8, the give is to Ashman, cuts off tackle to the near side, gets to the 40-yard line before he's pushed back. Yeah, Trinity and St. John's are both number 7 seeds, and the coin toss, or however they decided, went to the South region on this one. So if 2 equal seeds match, the South would host, but Central would be a higher seed than Trinity, and they would be forced to come up here.
And Mount Union, the 1 seed from the North, beating Wittenberg this afternoon. I believe that was 32-7. So a pretty convincing win for the Mount Union squad, and they're into the semifinals.
Perennial power there in Mount Union.
Big 3rd and 7 coming up, high formation. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Under center, Kortzman takes the snap. He's looking to throw, has time. Now he's forced out of the pocket, and he's going to try to roll out, and he's going to be dropped back at the 32-yard line.
Boy, that time Kortzman went back to about 2-step drop and tried to pick up his receiver, but the receiver got punched or jabbed at the line of scrimmage and wasn't able to get loose, and so Kortzman then had to take another step back, and by then he was swarmed by the St. John's defensive line, so had to eat it. Loss of about 5-6 yards.
Dutch will go 3 and out here on the first drive of the third quarter. Tim O'Neill will punt it away. Gets a nice spiraling kick towards the far sideline. Moore will take it at the 35-yard line. He's dropped immediately. Down there on coverage, Brick Nelson.
Yeah, the St. Johnny's that last offensive play, running a little twist on the far defensive side. Their end and tackle running a little twist and confusing our offensive line and enabling them to get into Kortzman's face and get to him before he could get rid of that ball.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. St. John's will set up first play of the second half for the Johnnies.
Dutch were a little disappointed, I'm sure, that time on offense. I'm sure the offensive line wanted to make a statement. They didn't do it that time.
2 receivers to the near side. They give up the middle to Moore. Fights his way to the outside, and he only got about 3 yards.
That time, a little slashing play by Moore off that far side there, but our defensive line did a nice job of not letting any gaps there, but actually Moore was able to pick up 2-3 yards, but still pretty good play by the defense.
2nd and 7 from the 37.
Another score, Minikak Marinsky giving us here. Widener in the East. Widener, the 6th seed, leading the number 4 seed Springfield 47-20. That's with 14 minutes left in the 4th.
2nd and 7 from the 37-yard line. And the pitch goes right side to Moore. He's trying to get to the outside, turns the quarter, dances down the far sideline. He's going to be about a yard shy of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Perkins out there from his defensive line position, almost caught him from behind, but not quite. Moore was able to make the corner then. It was a little quick toss to him, and he turned it up and picked up about another 4 yards, so it brings up about 3rd, about 1.5.
Ball at the 42-yard line, 12:06 left to go third quarter. Central up 10-7. 2 receivers split to the right, 1 receiver to the left.
The Dutch need a stand right here, guys.
Tom Linneman steps under center. Takes the snap. The give is to Moore, and he's going to be hit. Drop for a loss back at the 40-yard line.
Tried a little bit of it wasn't really a draw play, but kind of a little sprint back by the quarterback to make it look somewhat like a pass. We handed off to Moore, but he was just dropped as soon as he took the handoff. We sent both linebackers that time, and there wasn't any gap for Moore to run.
Both teams start the second half trading punts. Carr will kick it away. Standing back about the 25-yard line is Chad Klein. Carr gets a high snap, gets the ball away, a high spiraling kick up there like a top, and Klein will call for the fair catch at the 29-yard line. Central will set up 1st and 10.
Oh, Chad Klein, he's got blood in his, ice in his veins, because, boy, I tell you what, he was running very hard to the near side here to get to that ball, and last minute raised his hand for a fair catch and made a quick catch.
He may have some blood in those veins.
Yeah,
too.
I know.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Two receivers split left, one to the right side is Joe Kane. On 1st and 10 from the 29, Corselman under center, takes the snap, wants to roll out near side on the option. He'll keep it himself, dives to the 30 for a gain of 1.
Boy, the St. John's defense is really attacking, and they're doing a good job of reading and getting to the spots they need to be before the offensive line of the Dutch can get there. They're just their speed's really starting to shine through right now, and even though we're bigger and more physical, they're beating us to those gaps and getting to the ball carrier before we can get to them.
Yeah, the linebacker did a nice job of scraping off to take Corselman on that time. Corselman didn't even have a chance to pitch it. A little bit of an option to the near side here.
2nd and 9 from the 30-yard line, ball on the near hash. Receivers are split. Kane away from us, long, near side, now goes in motion. Corselman takes the snap, drops back, and then hands off on the draw. Collins gets it, gets back to the near side, across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Gain of 3, brings up 3rd and 6.
Well, there was a seam there for just a second. The offensive line did a good job of creating a seam, but again, the pursuit got to Collins before he could really make anything happen with it. And it brings up about a 3rd and 6.
Well, Tim Bahula, their linebacker, is their leading tackler this year, unassisted tackles and regular tackles. He's not real tall, 5'10", but 215-pound senior, and I tell you what, he just really impresses me.
Two receivers split wide left, I formation in the backfield. Ritzert and Collins. Corselman takes the snap, drops back, has time, looking to throw, and then overthrows Ritzert. He kind of looked like he wanted to dump it off to Ritzert, but the arm was cocked to throw it long.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I think last minute he tried to throw it a little bit short, and it actually stunted his throw and just threw it to the ground in front of Ritzert. Ritzert wasn't able to make any catch at all.
So Central will kick it away again.
And St. John's had some pressure in his face that time too, and Corselman really wasn't able to follow through and put that ball where he wanted to.
Jason Phipson back deep to receive with Chris Moore. O'Neill standing at the 20-yard line. It's a low snap. He picks it up off the ground. No pressure. Gets the kick away. End-over-end kick. It'll bounce at the 45-yard line. Take a central hop, and Moore will pick it up, and he's tackled immediately back at the 37-yard line.
Well, Moore's been taking a lesser than 2 from Chad Klein and preserving every yard he can. That time he took it off a couple hops and about a half second before Brick Nelson got there, but luckily he was able to secure possession of it. Luckily for the Johnnies, I guess.
All right.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Johnny's set up. 10:01 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Central up 10-7. 3 receivers split right. The lone setback, Chris Moore. The pass to the right side of the field. The catch is made and wrapped up nearly immediately and thrown down is Jeremy Forsell.
Boy, nice job out there by Brick Nelson. Took on his defender, shucked him off, and was able to get over to that little swing pattern pass and make the tackle for, well, no gain on the play. Tremendous play by Brick Nelson.
2nd and 10. Lined up wide to the near side is Blake Elliott. Purcell split wide right, I formation in the backfield. Tom Linneman under center. Takes the snap. The give is to Moore to the right side, looking for a block, turns the corner. He gets out to the 45-yard line, still on his feet, and he dives for a 1st down as he gets to about the 48-yard line.
Well, they just took advantage of some good blocking on the far side of the field over there behind the St. John's right side of the offensive line and just kept pushing, and pretty soon Moore found that gap and was able to stretch it for a 1st down.
I haven't been following the line play on that particular play, but that play has been pretty successful for them. I can't tell whether they're pulling somebody, but they sure have a lot of bodies going off that way. It's almost like a student body right.
The ball between the St. John's 48 and 49-yard line. Receivers are split. They give up the middle to Moore. Now cuts back to the near side, gets to the midfield stripe.
Ryan Anderson that time slicing through, able to get a hand and just trip him up and slow him up enough for Nate Hansen and Snyder to come in and clean him up.
2nd and 8 from the 50. 8:50 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 10-7 Central.
Sure. Central would like to get some type of big defensive stop in here, either a fumble or interception, to get better field position for the offense.
It feels like both teams are kind of waiting for something to happen and really not being very risky.
Dropping back, Linneman has time, wants to throw the middle, pumps, now rolls out to the near side, and he underthrows the intended receiver on the near sideline, the tight end, Nate Kirshner.
Yeah, there's a good case of what Kurt was talking about previously. Lindemann was not able to run the ball because he was flushed out of the pocket. Our defensive backs did a nice job, and we flushed him out, and he had plenty of room to run. He probably could have picked up 15 yards, but he threw the ball and ended up throwing it short.
3rd and 8.
That's when those hits, first quarter, second quarter, and everything we can get on him now, we're really going to start paying off, playing mental games with him.
Dutch crowd to its feet. 2 receivers right, 1 to left. Dropping back, Linneman has time, now steps up in the pocket. He's hit as he throws it down the field, and he overthrows the intended receiver just by inches. Coming out of the backfield and going long for the play was Aaron Critch. And it was incomplete.
We had blown coverage that time. There was 2 St. Johnny's receivers that were behind our D-backs. We had a safety trying madly to get over there, but Linneman, unfortunately, fortunately for the Dutch, didn't have a touch on it and just kind of threw it up there, and the Johnnies couldn't get to it.
Yeah, Chad Klein was looking over at Nick Turner saying, where were you at? Because I think he was expecting Turner to be over there. Chad was trying to cover up short, but Turner wasn't there deep.
Chad Klein and Brick Nelson back deep to receive. The kick by Carr is a short one, a wobbly one. Nelson will take it at the 20-yard line. Looking for a block, gets to the 25, now cuts back to the near side. He has some room. He's to the 30, 35-yard line, 40, forced out of bounds at the 44. Great field position for the Dutch.
Brick Nelson able just to kind of get lost in the pocket, in the pile there, and then slip out. And there was a couple blocks waiting for him, and oh boy, only a couple men to beat, and he had the sideline, and he would have had some yards to go there.
Maybe that'll give the Dutch offense the spark it needs. 1st and 10 coming up. Ball will be marked at the 44-yard line. 8:08 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
They're cleaning Brick Nelson up there. He was tackling that mud. He just went sliding right through that mud, so they're trying to get him all cleaned up.
He finds the only mud on the field.
Yeah.
Brandt and Ashelman are the backs in the eye. 2 receivers split wide left. Corselman under center, takes the snap, drops back, hands off, no fakes, play action to Ashelman, throws back over the middle, the intended receiver Brandt, it's incomplete.
Well, we had about 3 receivers right there for Corselman to choose from, and I'm not sure if he changed his mind at the last second. Kurt Long was open for an instant, running just a little stop pattern, but got covered up quickly, and Brandt was there also, and Corselman couldn't find either one of them.
2nd and 10.
I think you're right. I think Corselman is picking out his primary receiver, and I think he sees him open for a time, and just about the time he was going to let it go, he realized, I'm not going to throw an interception. Tried to throw it short again, and ended up throwing it in the dirt.
McCullough and Long split wide left. Kane split wide right. Corselman under center, 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line. Takes the snap. This time the give is to Brandt up the middle, across the 45 to about the 47. Give him a gain of 3. That's the first carry for Matt Brandt.
Boy, just not a whole lot of running room inside those tackles. Sooner or later, though, I get the feeling sooner or later we're sticking with it. Sooner or later, we're going to pop one of those up the middle for some significant gains. And boy, when we do, it's
go ahead.
Just waiting to happen, I think.
Seen it so many times the central offensive line wears down those defenses 3rd and 4th quarter, and those big gains start to come. The lone back this time will be Joe Ritzer. 2 receivers to either side.
We got a matchup here on this side. 2 receivers and only 1 back out here.
We'll see if Corselman sees it. He's looking this way. Now he gets some help as Corselman fakes the screen. He's going to run up the middle. Gets to the 50. Still on his feet. Gets to about the 49-yard line, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
A good cover up there that time by the linebackers for St. John's. A little bit of a fake. It was kind of a quarterback draw, but I don't think that Scott probably allowed that play to happen a little bit more. I think he should have taken a little bit farther drop and then showed pass and then would have opened up a little bit. He tried to run too quickly.
And Tim O'Neill will punt for the 3rd time this quarter. With 6:51 left to go. He stands at the 38-yard line, gets a high kick away. It'll spiral towards the far sideline, not very far. It bounces at the 25, and it'll roll inside the 20-yard line. The Dutch will down it back about the 18.
Well, Tim O'Neill's having a career day in punting. I don't want to jinx him, so I'll take that comment back. But he is doing a good job.
St. John's will set up 1st and 10. With 6:36 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 10-7 in favor of Central. The ball at the 18-yard line.
We're still waiting to see a first action out of Jeff Sanger. Must not quite have received clearance yet from the trainers, but I know he's chomping at the bit to get in there. This is killing him to sit and watch. 2
receivers split wide to the near side on 1st and 10. The give goes the other way and dropped In the backfield is Moore.
Boy, Ryan Anderson from his defensive line position just slashed through there. It almost looked like he wasn't on touch, wasn't even blocked that time, but he was able to catch Moore from behind and throw him for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Loss of 2 brings up 2nd and 12.
That was that same play that they've been successful on the last 2 series, running to the far side off that right tackle.
Blake Elliott lines up wide left. Split wide right, Jeremy Purcell. Dropping back, Linneman has time, looking to throw over the middle, and it is nearly intercepted. Korselman thought he came up with it after Bonema tipped the ball, and neither one did. It's incomplete.
Great play by Bonema that time. He was chasing his receiver. The receiver had a step on him coming on a drag pattern across the middle, but Bonema was able to reach around in front at the last second and tip it just before it got to the receiver, and Korselman almost came up with it.
We'll bring up 3rd and 12. I thought Bonema was going to come with a pick first, and then saw Korselman dive in there at the end, and almost thought he had it. Dutch crowd comes to its feet again. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Linneman drops back, has time. Now he throws long, and Elliott makes the catch at the 35-yard line. That'll be a first down.
That Linneman did a nice job that time going back into the pocket. And we're back in a nickel defense, and he found the seam, found Elliott right in the seam, and hit him right on the numbers.
On 3rd and 12, a 20-yard completion brings first down. Elliott 3 catches unofficially for 76 yards.
That was a well-thrown ball that time by Lindemann.
3 receivers split to the near side. The ball at the 36-yard line. 5:38 left to go in the quarter. Clement under center, drops back, hands off to Moore, wants to come to the near side. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and wrestled down.
There's that draw play that's been eating us alive these first 2 quarters, but looks like the Dutch defense finally starting to catch on to that and stay home and contain their still attack upfield, but coming in more of a contained manner where they can slow themselves down and pick up that draw or that shovel pass.
Yeah, first half, our linebackers were dropping back into that hook zone a little bit farther, and the backs really weren't coming out of that backfield so far, and so this time they've been staying there. So this half they've been staying home a little bit more.
Moore picked up about the length of a football. Call it 2nd and 10. Linneman drops back, has time, throws over the middle. It may have been hit at the line of scrimmage, and the ball falls incomplete as Critch took a smack as the ball got to him.
Andy Ratzlaff timed that one about perfectly. Got there just as the ball did. And actually, Ratzlaff kind of stripped it out of there and almost came up with it himself.
I thought he had an interception.
A good play by Ratzlaff to time that and deliver a blow and knock that ball loose.
The Dutch apparently have grown tired of knocking Lindeman around all afternoon and decided they're going to start hitting on some of the other offensive players.
And it's funny, Lindeman, not a real bullet passer like a Favre or somebody like that. He's floating them up there and letting his receivers go get them.
Dr. David Rowe leading the cheers on 3rd and 10. Receivers split to either side. Backs are split in the backfield. Lindeman drops back. He's going to throw, and the catch is made shy of a first down. The catch made by Critch about 7 yards downfield will bring up 4th and short.
Yeah, Chad Klein over there doing a nice job on his defensive back position. The receiver was down about 8 to 10 yards. It looked like he was far enough for the first down, but he had to come back for the ball just a little bit. Once he caught it, Chad Klein really hit him and didn't let him to go any further. So brings up 4th and about 2.
And St. John's will punt. Nelson back about the 30-yard line, back about the 20s, Chad Klein. As Charlie Carr, like Tim O'Neill, getting a workout here in the 3rd quarter. Carr standing at his 30, gets the snap, gets the kick away. It's a high end-over-end kick. Klein will take it at the 23-yard line on the far hash mark to the 25, to the 30. He's going to be brought down at the 33. Central has it 1st and 10.
Good run back by Klein again. Good blocking down there by Brick Nelson to spring him for about 10 yards.
4:03 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Central leads 10-7.
A couple of well-coached clubs here, and not a whole lot of mistakes, not a whole lot of penalties, just good solid defense being played, and defense has really been the name of the game this 3rd quarter, and both offenses kind of playing it conservative, hoping to make something happen, but really not taking any risks just yet.
Long and Kane both split wide to the near side, I formation. This time they give him the backfield to Ashman, looking for a block, gets out to about the 35-yard line for a gain of 2. Central looks like they're going back to the running game.
I see Jesse Collins sitting down here on the sideline, and we haven't seen much of him this half. I was surprised. I thought maybe we'd see a little bit more of him.
2nd and 8 from the 35. Dutch break the huddle, long coming to the near side. Kane lining up wide away from us. Central going from our left to our right. High formation in the backfield. Corseman under center. Long count. Takes the snap. This time the give to Ritzert up the middle. He sticks his head down and gets all the way out to about the 38 for a gain of 3.
Boy, St. John's defensive line doing a good job of getting rid of their blocks. They're just, it seems like every time we run the ball, you can count about 2 or 3 Dutch offensive linemen that have been kind of tossed aside, or they just can't maintain their blocks. The St. John's guys doing a good job of getting rid of them and tackling our ball carriers before they can really get a full head of steam going.
All right, I'm surprised we even got the 2-3 yards we did that time. They had their 4 down linemen and plus their 3 linebackers tucked in there really tightly, and I would like to see something run a little wider maybe.
Long comes in motion to the near side, 3rd and 5. Corseman takes the snap, rolls out to the near side on the bootleg. Now he's going to run with it. Gets to the 40-yard line, still on his feet. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of a first down.
A little rollout pass attempt that time by Scott Corseman, trying to come out here and pick up Long, who's going deep down the sideline. Last minute then has to tuck it away and tries to cut up for the first down, but it's going to be about 2-3 yards short.
4th and 2. Central will kick away again here in the 4th quarter.
By 2 heavyweights, as you said, Kurt, 2 heavyweights slugging it out here, and I'm afraid what's going to happen is there's just going to be one big knockout punch that's going to lower the boom on somebody.
O'Neill standing inside his 30-yard line. 2 men back at the 25 to return for the Johnnies. There's the snap. It's a good one to O'Neill. He gets the kick away. It's going to be a short, wobbly kick. It'll bounce at the 35-yard line. It'll take a central roll back to the 30. That's where the Dutch will down at 1st and 10 for the Johnnies.
It's just been a game of field position so far. 4 punts for the Dutch, 3 for the Johnnies, and we really haven't seen much action by their team on either side of the 30s. It's been pretty much all in the middle of the field and pretty conservative and just field position football. And I think, like you said, Danny, the first team that makes a mistake, it's going to be real advantageous to the other team to capitalize on it and make something happen.
1:53 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Dutch up by 3. Elliott split wide to the near side. Forsell split away from us. Linneman drops back, fakes the handoff to Moore. Now he's going to step up, throw over the middle, and that catch is made by Forsell at the 45. Gets across midfield to the central 48-yard line. It'll be a first down.
Linneman had all the time in the world to throw that time. He was back in the pocket, just stood there, and waited for the seams to open up, and he was able to pick him up and put it right on the money.
1st and 10 at the central 48-yard line. Johnnies break the huddle. 2 receivers, 3 receivers to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Moore's the lone setback. Lemon checking off at the line, steps under center. He's going to throw the quick screen out to the far side. Elliott makes the catch at midfield. He's to the 45, stumbles, and he's going to still stay on his feet as he picks up a first down going out of bounds inside the 40-yard line, about the 36.
Linneman made the right call that time. There was nobody out there to cover that little flare pass or that little wide receiver hitch, and nobody out there, and 3 receivers blocking for him, and got a nice gain for a red jersey could get on him.
1st and 10 from the 36, 1:21 left to go in the quarter.
Yeah, we're backing off our defensive end just a little bit there. Our linebacker shifting over on those trips right over there on the far side, so they had plenty of blockers over there.
Linneman drops back on first down, throws over the middle. The catch made by Elliott at the 20-yard line, spins out of a tackle, nearly stumbles, then does stumble down at the 15-yard line. It'll be another first down, a gain of 21.
Boy, nice pass play by Linneman that time. He just stood back in the pocket. It looks to me like the Dutch defense getting just a little bit tired out there. They're not putting quite as much pressure on Linneman, and he's got more time, and so he's got patience to wait for his receivers to get in the open.
1:11 left to go here in the 3rd quarter, 10-7. Johnny's in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 15. Backs are split. Linneman drops back, has time, throws, and the catch will be made at the 5-yard line. Fighting his way to about the 3 is Nate Kirshner.
And you hit it the nail right on the head there, Denny. It's just a matter of the Dutch defense kind of getting worn down. The front 4, the front 5 aren't really getting that push-up field anymore, and Linneman's got time to throw. He's got no hands in his face, so he can see where he's throwing, and the receivers are running good routes, and our D-backs can't quite catch up to him and stick on him.
Right.
Kirshner's first catch of the afternoon brings up 1st and goal at the 3.
This is gut check time for the Dutch here.
2 receivers split to the near side are Elliott and Forsell. Linneman under center, I formation. Takes the snap. This time they give us to Moore. Flag on the play. This will be whistled dead.
And unless that's contact, that's going to have to go against St. John's.
Yeah.
Procedure against the Johnnies. First penalty for 5 yards. Central's been penalized once for 5 yards.
Well, that's a break for the Dutch in there. It gives them a little bit more room, but the way Lindemann's been passing here, that actual extra room is going to be probably better for him.
Nick Turner goes in, replacing Nate Hansen, so another extra back in the backfield for Central. Dropping back, Lindemann looking for the end zone near side, and Corselman nearly picked it off. It was in his hands. It falls incomplete.
Boy, that would have been a big play if Corselman could have come up with that play that time. Try to catch us sleeping over there and try to throw just a little fade into the corner, but Corselman was right there to knock it away.
And Corselman coming over to help Brick Nelson, who had been beaten by a step, and luckily for Corselman, or essentially Corselman did come over and break that up.
2nd and 8 coming up. 2nd and goal from the 8. 2 receivers to the near side. 3 receivers to the near side. Moore's the tailback. Lindemann looking to throw on 2nd down. Under pressure, now throws a wounded duck in the end zone. The catch is made. Kirshner, touchdown. St. John's has the lead.
Kirshner coming across from the far side there, right? And Chad Klein was trying to stay with him, and Chad actually got hung up a little bit as he was coming from the far side over there, got hung up and wasn't able to stay with him.
8-yard touchdown pass to Nate Kirshner. St. John's on top 13-10. The extra point coming up.
St. John's going to the air more this series, and this is what got him to this point.
We await the extra point try. The ball is down. The kick is up, end over end. It's got the distance, and it is good. 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. At St. John's 14, Central 10. You are listening to college football on the home of the Dutch, 92.1 FM, KRLS.
Well, the Dutch, the St. John's taking advantage of the Dutch's defensive line, not putting quite as much pressure on that time.
High end over end kick, and Brick Nelson will take it at the 15-yard line. Middle of field, 15, 20, 25. On his feet across the 30 to about the 35, 36-yard line. Central gets good field position once again.
And guys, the Dutch offense is going to have to help out the defense here by keeping the ball, some time of possession, keeping the ball, getting a few first downs, and giving the defense a chance to regroup, catch their breath, get some water in them, and just, suck it up a little bit. Get a few words of inspiration from Coach Stewart, and then go back out there hopefully with a little bit rejuvenated and kind of get back on task here.
1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Kane and Long both split wide left. McCullough split wide right. Long is on the outside for a change. Kane is in the slot. Corselman takes the snap, drops back, has time. Now he's forced out of the pocket, comes towards the near sideline, looking to throw. He's going to throw it long down the field for Long, and he can't make the over-the-shoulder catch.
Oh, man, I tell you what, he just couldn't quite get his body around. The ball went off his shoulder pad, but had he been able to get himself around, Longwood had about a 30-yard gain right there.
Well, we have our first team in the football Final Four. Mountain Union has beaten Wittenberg 32-15.
Well, that time, Corselman was sprinting to the near side here. He went back in the pocket, but he was squirted out, and once he came to the near side here, almost got caught from behind. In fact, I think when he was throwing the ball, it maybe affected his throw a little bit because he got tackled a little bit from behind.
2nd and 10 coming up, I formation, 2 receivers to the left. As Kane is outside, Long is in the slot, McCullough on the near side. Corselman under center takes the snap. They give up the middle. Ritzert across the 40 to about the 41 for a gain of 5. And that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. So we were unable to give away a sub this time. Hopefully we'll do it next Saturday afternoon, but first Central needs to retake the lead after 3 quarters.
Now that's the way the game's been played, and St. John went back to the way they started out the ball game, and the Dutch's defensive line is a little bit tired out there, so consequently they were able to throw the ball against us significantly. I think the Dutch are going to have to try to do something, take a risk in here, as Coach Kakminsky had said about 2 weeks ago. When you get into the playoffs, sometimes you have to take a risk and try for sort of big plays, and we may have to do some a little bit more passing here to see if we can break this game open a little bit more.
3rd and 5 coming up. High formation in the backfield. Coming in motion to the near side, Long. And there's the snap. Corselman rolls out to the near side. He's looking to throw, has time now, throws a wounded duck, and that will fall incomplete.
He got hit from behind by, looks like number 19, Mark Jerzak. defensive back. Looks like he came from either a safety blitz or a cornerback blitz, caught him from behind.
So Central will punt once again, 4th and 5.
Well, we were running the little under pattern that time. We had the receiver coming in motion, so we had 2 on this side, and one receiver running the clear out and the other running the under, and Corseman must not have seen the Kurt Long running the under. He had him open for a minute, but couldn't quite get it to him.
Chris Moore and Jason Flipson back deep to receive. Kick is a high spiraling kick, and Moore will go back to the 25-yard line to make the catch. Looking for a block, goes back to the 20. Now he's still looking for a block, back to the 25, brought down at the 27-yard line. St. John's will set up 1st and 10.
And Jeff Sanger's coming out in the field first time today. I had a feeling we couldn't keep him out of there the whole game. He's, it's a senior. He's had a great career. He's started every game, I think, unless he's been injured, but he started every game he's played at Central and for 4 years, and can't say enough about that player, and it's just great to see him back out there again.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Johnnies at the 28-yard line. 14:44 left to go in regulation. It's 14-10 in favor of St. John's.
I don't know, Linneman is beckoning to the official. He wants to talk to the official about something. I'm not sure what it is he's beckoning about. I think they're talking about the down marker. I think the down marker over here on the near sideline hasn't been moved down yet, and it's just the, I don't know, that's not it either. Oh, I see. There's a clipboard that's on the sideline. Sun was shining off of it. It was one of those marker boards. It's got plastic on it. It was shining, glaring a little bit in Linneman's eyes. So.
Well, Dr. Rowe was carrying that board earlier, and he's smiling about it. I wonder if he was up to something.
Well, he's been a military man. You never know what he's up to.
Yeah.
He's pretty crafty.
1st and 10 from the 28. 2 receivers to the near side. Given the backfield to Moore, looking for a block, rolls off to the left side, gets to about the 30-yard line for a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Look like Austin Bonema and Ryan Anderson in there. That's that little play that they run, kind of a student body right, student body left, and that time they went to the far side over there and picked up 2 or 3 yards.
Hopefully Sanger's presence in there will give a little bit of a motivation and a little bit of enthusiasm to that Dutch defense, because we need a play out of them right now.
All right.
2nd and 8. The ball at the 30-yard line of St. John's. Linneman takes the snap, drops back. He's going to throw over the middle. The catch is made at the 40-yard line, fighting to the 45, to the 46. Nate Kirshner. That'll be a 1st down.
Yeah, Kirshner was pretty open on that play. He was coming across the from his far side over there, and Linneman again has plenty of time, and he was able to pick him up, tossed it right on the money to him. Our defensive line's got to get to Kirshner, or get to Linneman, and make him feel like he did the first half.
1st and 10 from the 45. 13:57 left to go. 2 receivers split left, I formation in the backfield. Lemon under center. Gives to Moore. Moore rolls out to the near side. He's to the 50, and he's brought down at the 46-yard line of Central after a gain of 9.
St. John's, nothing fancy, just a power play to the right here and sticking with their blocks. Just keep on driving that Dutch defensive line back, and the linebackers and D-backs having to come up and assist in making the tackle. 2nd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kurt, that the offense has got to keep the defense off the field for a while, because they've just been on there way too much this quarter, for this half.
Receivers are split. Backs are split. 2nd and 1. Linneman takes the snap. He gives to Moore in the backfield. It dives across the 45 for a 1st down, brought down at the 43 after a gain of 3.
Ryan Anderson shucked his block off and was able to make the tackle, but not until Moore made the 1st down.
1st and 10 from the 44 coming up.
Well, 3rd quarter time possession was just about even. Central with just over 7.5 minutes. But the key factor, St. John's had 6 first downs in that 3rd quarter. The Dutch, not a single 1st down.
Yeah.
Backs are split once again. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Linneman drops back, has time, throws over the middle, and it is dropped, broken up by Bonema, the intended receiver, Nate Kirshner.
Bonema fortunate enough to get a hand in there and slap that ball away before it got to Kirshner and preserve that play. That would have been a pretty good gainer for the Johnnies. 2nd and 10 coming up. You're listening to college football on 92.1 FM KRLS Knoxville Pella. It is 2 o'clock. Also around the world at www.kniakrls.com and www.central.edu. 2 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right on 2nd and 10.
Lindemann drops back, pumps once, now forced out of the pocket, rolls out to his left. The catch made by Elliott at the 35-yard line. He'll be tackled immediately by a host of Dutch tacklers.
Well, we did a good job of flushing him out of the pocket, but that time Elliott was able to slip over into a little bit of a gap after he had run his normal pass route, and Lindemann knows right where he's at, picked him up, and picked up about 8 yards on that play, so it brings up 3rd and about 2.
Dutch crowd to its feet once again. 12-13 left to go in the 4th quarter. Central down 14-10.
Got to have a big play here, guys.
Right.
Backs are split, receivers are split. Lindemann under center takes the snap. They give to Moore up the middle. He's got a first down as he gets all the way out to the Central 32-yard line.
Nothing fancy there, just to give to the tailback, and he picked his way for the first down.
I've got him for 24 carries for 96 yards so far in the afternoon.
He's been fairly consistent. He hasn't had a lot of big carries right off of the snap, but he's had those big carries off of options and that little toss that they ran to the inside.
Blake Elliott split wide left. Jeremy Forsell split wide right. Lindemann under center takes the snap, wants to throw on first down. Screen pass out to left side. Catch made by Moore in the backfield. Still on his feet. Dives. Only picks up a couple yards as he gets to the 31.
Austin Bonema from his linebacker position was right with Moore as he went out there. And actually, when Moore made the catch, Bonema was right there to put the tackle on him. But he was able to slip away and pick up enough yards to get him back to almost line of scrimmage.
There's a loss of 1 on the play. Excuse me, a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah.
Backs are split, receivers are split. Dropping back, Lindemann fakes the handoff. Now he's going to step up in the pocket, and the catch is made by Kirshner down the far sideline, 10-yard line. He dives for the end zone. He's going to be shy. Excuse me, he dives for the 10-yard line. He's going to be shy by about 10 yards there.
Again, we had him. We flushed Lindemann out of the pocket that time, and we had Elliott well covered. Nate Corselman down there had done a great job of staying right with him, but then last minute he breaks off of his pattern, slips into a gap, and Lindemann hits him with a little quick pass, and he picks up a few more yards after a missed tackle by Corselman.
And we put Lindemann on his back, I think, for about only the 1st or 2nd time this quarter.
1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. I formation. Lindemann takes the snap. The give is to Moore. Cuts to the right side. Still on his feet. Dives to about the 7.
A little student body right that time for Moore. Picks up about 3-4 yards.
About 5 student bodies running right in front of the grandstand here, too, for the Dutch. A few guys showing their school spirit with their shirts off. Going to need some spirit here from everybody, from the defense and offense, and from the fans, because it's...
can't afford to let them have another score here.
2nd and 7 coming up. The ball at the 7-yard line. Johnnies can get a first down without scoring. I formation. Lindemann takes the snap. The give is to Moore, right side across the 5. Still on his feet. Dives for the end zone, and no signal yet. Yes, there is. Touchdown.
Yeah, he kind of went in almost untouched there. But I tell you what, folks, the defense is just worn out. You can just see that their dobbers are down, the hands are on their hips, and they're hoping that the offense can bring them back into this game a little bit. But you can see their dobbers are down. They've been really back on their heels this quarter, this half.
Extra point attempt coming up. It will be Ross Denny to hold and Joe Rotundi to kick. Ball is down, the kick is up, end over end. It's got the distance, and it is good. 21 unanswered points by the Johnnies. And with 9:47 left to go in regulation, it is St. John's 21, Central 10. You're listening to College Football on 92.1. By a score of 21-10. 3 touchdowns in a row scored by St. John's.
We've been using the heavyweight fight analogy, and right now it looks like the Johnnies are getting the best of us. We're starting to stagger a little bit.
Short end over end kick, and it'll be taken at the 25-yard line by Nelson. Gets out across the 35 to about the 37. And that's where Central set up 1st and 10.
Again, just a little high kick, and Rick Nelson runs underneath. It doesn't get much after he gets there. The ball is kicked high enough that their coverage gets down there. We've been having good field position after those kickoffs, you know, taking the ball on the 35. So normally, you know, you're setting up on about the 20-yard line, but we get good field position after those.
Long split wide to the near side. Kane split away from us. I formation in the backfield, 1st and 10. Now Long goes in motion to the right side. Korsman takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Ashman on the play action, rolls out to the right, and Richard makes the bobbling catch at the 42-yard line for a gain of 5.
Be a good gain on 1st down. We'll get half of it on 1st down. We'll get 2 more downs to get 5, and that's the stuff we're going to have to do, is try to loosen up that front 5 of St. John's and pick up some yards through the air here.
Right.
That's the first completed pass by Central here in the second half. 2nd and 5 from the 42-yard line. Receivers are split I formation once again. Pitch comes to the near side for Ashman, looking for a block. He gets one to the 45, dives to the 49, 1st down.
First down in the second half for the Dutch right there, and it comes with 9:02 left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the Dutch are going to have to take advantage here and try to get the score quickly in this this next 3 minutes is when they got to score, because we need the ball back again.
And the clock's starting to become an enemy of us now.
Right.
I formation, receivers are split. This time the draw play. Once again, Ashman across the 50, fights his way. Still on his feet. He's going to lean to about the 47-yard line for a gain of 4.
Yeah, a little draw play that time. Didn't really go anyplace. Well, actually, it picked up, looks like 4 or 5 yards, but actually our offensive line must have pushed him off a ways, because once he hit the line, didn't go anywhere from there.
6:37 left in the 3rd quarter. Trinity leads Hardin Simmons by a score of 23-20. I formation once again. Korsman under center, takes the snap, drops back, fakes the handoff to Collins. Now he's going to throw. Catch is made by Brandt coming out of the backfield, 40 to the 36-yard line. Another Central 1st down.
There's the same play we saw a little bit ago. This time Brandt in the fullback position, and just a little play action pass, the misdirection in the backfield, and the fullback's wide open out in the flat, and a nice run after catch will give the Dutch a 1st down. The clock continuing to run, though.
8:08 and counting. 1st and 10 for Central at the 37-yard line. I formation. McCullough takes the snap, rolls out to the near side. On the option, he'll keep it. He's to the 35, on his feet to the 30. That's going to be a gain of about 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up.
Little option play that time to the near side, and Chris Bigelow did a nice job of sealing his defensive tackle off, and he was able to allow Korsman to get outside him and make the turn and pick up those 7 yards.
Dutch crowd getting into it. McCullough split left, Long split right. I formation. This time draw play. Ashman up the middle. It gets about a half yard.
A little sprint draw that time, and Ashman was tackled right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Bring up 3rd and 3 from the 30-yard line.
Clock down about 7:10 now.
McCullough and Long split wide right. Korsman under center. Long count once again. Takes the snap, drops back. He's going to roll out to his right. He's going to look to throw. The catch is made by Long at the 21-yard line. 1st down.
Nice little out pattern that time. Long from his slot back down about 8-9 yards. Quick out pattern. Just straight sprint rollout by Korsman. He sees him out there and picks him up and tosses the ball very finely.
Very nice to have Long back in the lineup, as we've said before.
And it's not, you know, we don't need those home run balls, just these 5, 6, 8, and 10-yard patterns that we're running is what's going to chip us away and get us down a quick score here.
McCullough right, Long left, I formation. Korsman takes the snap, drops back, rolls out to the near side, looking to throw over Long's hands. He had it at the 10-yard line, but it was over his head just by a little bit, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, same pass pattern, except back this way, little out pattern by Long, but Long wasn't able to catch it.
Does stop the clock with 6:47 left to go.
Long had his gloves on. He took them off and threw them to the sideline, so I'm sure he's thinking he needs to feel that ball just a little bit more on his hands.
2nd and 10, I formation. Receivers are split. This time the draw play to Ashman. No, a play action. Korsman will keep himself. Gets inside the 20, fighting his way towards the 15-yard line. Give him a gain of about 5-6 yards. Will bring up 3rd down.
A good gain, but we're gonna have to keep rolling here, and you know, we got to have 7 here. 3 points won't do us really any good.
Yeah, it gets you within 8. But you'd rather have the touchdown first if you can get it.
Little fake draw that time, but St. John's wasn't totally fooled on it. Corseman picked up some good yards, but nothing like we expected.
Long split to the right. McCullough split to the left, I formation. Corseman takes the snap, fakes the handoff on the play action. Now he's going to be sacked back at the 25-yard line.
St. John's read and pass the whole way that time, and they just came hard on the rush, and that time a couple of guys got away from our blockers, and as soon as the play action pass took place and Corseman was ready to toss the ball, boy, everybody was right on top of him.
Central will go for it on 4th and long. 4th and 14 at the 25-yard line.
This could be the play right here, fellas.
Yeah.
Got to make it happen.
5:35 and counting left to go in regulation. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Corseman under center, takes the snap, drops back, has good protection, rolls out to the near side. Now he's going to run with it. He pumps once, now he's going to dive and steps out of bounds, shy of a first down.
Not enough. Should have cut back.
12 of about 14, and Central will turn the ball over on downs.
I actually had to cut back there.
Yep. He just ran out of real estate there.
Yeah.
Just the Johnny's defenders were approaching quicker than that first down marker, and he just didn't quite have the angle on it.
Yeah.
St. John's takes over 1st and 10 at its own 13-yard line. 5:19 left to go in the contest. The Dutch do have all 3 timeouts.
I think Scott could see that down marker. I think he thought he could maybe get there, but he was going to actually have to cut back up against the grain there to pick that up.
Linneman under center takes the snap. They give us to Moore up the middle. He's only going to get to the 15 for a gain of 2.
Now if we can get him to hold him here and punt the ball. I can't imagine that they'll be too fancy down here. They're up 21-10. They don't want to throw the ball up too much and risk an interception, but on the same hand, they've been pretty proficient with the pass.
2nd and 8 coming up. Ball's at the 15-yard line, 4:46 and counting. Play clock down to 10. Linneman under center. Takes the snap to give to Moore up the middle once again. He gets maybe a half yard. It'll bring up 3rd down. That's all St. John's is going to do right now.
Yeah.
Yep, just eat that clock and chew up as much of it as they can, and rely on that defense that hasn't given up a point since halfway through the second quarter. But the Dutch defense hoping for a fumble or a muff on the handoff or something here, something to get us in field goal or touchdown range quick.
3rd and 7, 4:10 and counting. The ball is at the 21-yard line, or the 16-yard line, excuse me. Linneman takes the snap to give us to Moore, and this time he finds a seam to the left side. He dives out across the 20.
It's going to be close.
Got to about the 22. I think they're going to mark him shy. They'll bring the chains on to take a look at it.
Well, he was able to slash over to the far side there, and he had normally been going straight up the hole, but straight up the middle, but he was able to slant over to the side, and looks like they're going to mark it 4th down, and well, they're going to bring the chains out. Boy, this will really be a blow if they get this 1st down here.
I said timeout Central. The officials indicated it, but don't really know whether they made a mistake.
It's going to be short. Looks like about half a yard.
And the punting unit will come on for the Johnnies. 3:46 left to go. Klein will be back deep to receive. He's going to stand about midfield, just on the central side of that stripe. And the other 10 men will be up to rush. With 3:46 left to go in the contest. Charlie Carr will be standing back about his own 5-yard line when they break this huddle. I'll remind you, we've got Central Volleyball tonight here on 92.1 FM. Carroll S, the national championship against Wisconsin Whitewater. We'll have the pregame 7:45 kickoff at 8 o'clock here on 92.1 FM, KRLS. Carr standing about at 7-yard line. Chad Klein standing at midfield. St. John's maybe trying to get Central to jump. There's the snap.
Get it.
And the kick is almost blocked. It does get away. Klein will make the catch at the 50-yard line. and he's tripped up immediately. Making the tackle for the Johnnies, Andy Hover out of South St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah, Andy Hover, nice job of just sticking his arm out and tripping up Klein. Klein would have had a little real estate if he could have gotten outside him, but nice job there by Hover.
Good coverage, good team coverage that time. And like I said, Danny, there was a lot of grass over here, but Klein just couldn't quite get away from Hubbard.
All right.
1st and 10 from midfield, 3:39 left to go in the contest. Central down 21-10.
Well, the Dutch, they've definitely 3:39 left on the clock there. They've got to get something within the next minute and a half here, and so we'll see if they're going to send something deep here.
Long comes in motion to the near side. Korsman under center, takes the snap, drops back, rolls out to the near side. Now he's going to step up, he throws, and Kane makes the catch at the 40, dances down the sideline. He's pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, the Dutch want a unnecessary roughness there after Long was able to catch the ball and scamper up, or Kane was able to catch the ball off the sideline a little bit. They thought they pushed him pretty hard out of bounds there, but official says no way.
1st and 10 at the 33. 3:32 left to go in the contest, 21-10.
The Dutch offense all of a sudden moving the ball when they haven't been able to the whole second half, but all of a sudden they're finding some success.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some points out of it here.
Receivers are split. Korsman under center. 1st and 10, takes the snap, drops back. Has good protection. He's going to come back this side. Beegler makes the catch inside the 30, and he dives forward to about the 26-yard line for a gain of 7.
Dutch, we've got to hustle back to the huddle now. We don't need a huddle on this. We have to go with the 2-minute offense, even with 3 minutes to go here, because time is of the essence.
I formation in the backfield. Receivers are split. Korsman takes the snap, rolls out near side. Now he's going to run with it. He's going to dive to about the 24-yard line, 25-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Korsman thought after a little rollout there, he might be able to scamper up for the first down, which would stop the chains, but we're going to have to take a timeout.
That is the second timeout used by the Dutch, 1 remaining with 3 minutes left to go in the contest.
Linebackers were really playing lights out this afternoon and really doing a good job of limiting, not really shutting down, but really limiting our running game to 2 and 3 yard carries, 4 yard carries. I think the longest one we busted so far, Korsman's 17-yard run, and that was on a either the quarterback draw or a bootleg.
Right.
Back in the first half. 3rd and 2 coming up. I formation. Receivers are split. Korsman takes the snap. Pitch in the backfield. Ashman gets a block. Gets to the near side. And he's got bounds. He does. He dives out of bounds. And he has enough for the first down.
Smart running by Ashman to get to that first down marker, then look for the sideline and get out of bounds and preserve those timeouts and those precious seconds.
1st and 10 at the 18 coming up. Gain of 7 yards on that carry by Ashman. 14 carries, 50 yards on the day. Long split or wide right. Kane will also go wide right. I formation in the backfield on 1st and 10. Korsman under center. Now Long comes in motion. Now he goes back out. Korsman takes the snap, rolls out to the right. He's going to look to throw. Now he's going to bring it underneath. Now he'll look to throw again, and Kane makes the catch, falling out of bounds.
Boy, he catches the ball right at the sideline. And last minute, Korsman is rolling to the far side. Last minute, he throws the ball, a little bullet strike to Long, and he catches the ball right before he goes out of bounds.
It's going to bring up 2nd and short. Gain of 9 on that catch. Central crowd comes to its feet. 2nd and 1 coming up. Receivers are split. 2:48 left to go in the contest. Korsman takes the snap to give up the middle, and Richards still on his feet. Dives across the 5. The clock will stop as Central picks up a first down. 1st and goal coming up inside the 5-yard line.
Dutch will go without the huddle here and try to preserve some time.
Clock will start when the ball is set. They give to Ashman in the backfield, trying to run it up the middle, and he's in! Touchdown! A 3-yard touchdown run by Ashelman pulls the Dutch within 5, and I assume they'll go for 2.
Yeah, they get 2 here. We get the ball back. They get close enough for a field goal. Tie the ball game.
Ashelman, a 3-yard touchdown run, makes it 21-16.
Yeah, we got to go for 2 here because even if we don't, if we would get the 1 and St. John's would kick a field goal, by the time they'd get that field goal, the time would be there'd be very little time left for us to do anything with it. So go for the 2 and hopefully get the ball back quick and have a chance to kick the field goal.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on the 2-point conversion try. Korsman takes the snap. He wants to throw. He's going to throw the fade near side. Kane goes up for it, brings it down. 2-point conversion's good. 2:38 left to go in the contest. Stay tuned to this one, folks. St. John's 21, Central 18. You're listening to College Football on 92.1 FM, KRLS. And we'll see if Central thinks about an onside kick. Still 1 timeout left and 2:38 left to go on the clock.
Well, the Dutch have never been in this position to kick an onside kick, so I don't know. I'm sure they practice it every week, but whether or not we'll try it or not, it looks like St. John's has got
Blake
they got 9 players up within the 45-yard line here, so they're expecting something like that too.
Blake Elliott's up there. Here's the kick. It's an end-over-end kick high in the air. It'll be taken at the 15-yard line. Up to the 20. Looking for a block, brought down at the 24-yard line. St. John's will have the football with 2.5 minutes left to go, 1st and 10. And the defense needs a stop here now.
And we've got, what, 1 timeout left?
1 timeout
left. And it all comes down to 3 plays right here. If the Dutch can stop them on 3, it looks good. But if the Dutch, 1 first down should take care of it.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of time for the Dutch to do something with it, but it's got to be 3 and out.
St. John's will probably run the ball, not want to risk anything through the air. 2.5 minutes left to go. It's 21-18 in favor of the Johnnies. Ball's at the 23-yard line. The wide receiver to the near side, Jeremy Purcell. I'm sure he's out there just to stretch the defense more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, there is such thing as fumbles.
Haven't had one yet today.
No.
Linneman steps under center on 1st and 10. Takes the snap to give to Moore in the backfield over the pile. Gets to the 25 for a gain of 2.
No gain on that, maybe just a yard or so. Just dived over the top of the defensive line, but was able to. Defensive line did a nice job of stopping him there.
2:10 left on the game clock. 17 seconds left on the play clock with 2nd and call it 9 coming up.
And how much does that 3rd and 2 inside the St. John's 5 loom large right now?
Yeah.
Offset eye in the backfield once again. Linneman takes the snap. They give us to Moore. He's got a little bit of a hole. Still on his feet, and he's going to be close to a 1st down.
Well, he got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to bounce off, and then he found the gap right there and scampered forward. Looks like it's going to be, well, they're going to bring the chains out.
Could be close, depending on that spot.
Yeah.
And
I think he has it.
Yeah, it looks pretty close.
31 carries, 127 yards unofficially on the day for Chris Moore. So we wait for him to stretch the chains. It's 1st down.
1st down.
With 1:41 left to go. Central still has that timeout.
Did a nice job of making the initial stop on him, initial contact, but then he was able to shift over, and we committed all of our resources to that tackle, and he was able to find the spot, slip open.
The Dutch will try to strip the football. Giants will let the clock wind down a little more. 1:30 left to go in the game. 15 on the play clock. They break the huddle. Offset eye in the backfield once again. Linneman steps up under center, down to 5 on the play clock. They'll take the snap. They give us to Moore, comes to the near side, and he's going to fight his way out to about the 39-yard line, bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, he picks up a good 5 yards that time. He was able to slip around, and so they've got a Dutch player down on the floor, or on the ground.
That looks like Perkins.
I believe it is. Yeah.
Injury. And so he'll be helped off the field, and he'll get a round of applause from the home crowd.
Looks like it's a pretty aggressive injury, too, because he's not putting any weight on that at all.
He's trying to, but very, very gingerly. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Well, the Dutch will get her back. Probably St. John's left to punt with about 10 to 15 seconds left if the Dutch can stop them. But that'll be about it. So one last prayer for the Dutch.
They'll wind the clock now that Perkins has come off the field. We're down to a minute left on the game clock and about 16 seconds left on the play clock. 2nd and 5 coming up. St. John still hasn't broken the huddle yet, as quarterback Tom Linneman wants to come talk to the official. He's going to call a timeout as it gets down to 1 second remaining.
Yep.
On the play clock. 2nd and 5. Johnnies are back onto the field. 2nd and 5 coming up. The ball is at the 39-yard line with 45.5 seconds left to go. Central still has 1 timeout left. Linneman steps up under center, offset eye in the backfield. Takes the snap. The give is to Moore. Wants to cut the outside. Ball is loose on the ground. And Central did not come up with it.
Boy, that was close. That ball came shooting out of there. We were so close to getting that fumble. I can't see who made the first contact, but that fist came right in there and knocked that ball loose, and it was close.
Oh.
It is 3rd down and 10 coming up. 37.5 seconds left to go on the game clock.
And I believe, did Central take this?
They did.
Take the timeout, yeah.
Took their last time out.
Yeah.
Well, crazier things have happened. You saw that last week, JB.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, crazier things have happened. 3rd and 10, 37.5 seconds left to go. Backs are split on 3rd down. Linneman takes the snap. He's going to eat some time. Now take a knee. And as the Dutch defense gets there with 32 seconds left, we'll see how quickly they get the ball set. And it's not set in time. St. John's will win. And it's a tough loss for the Central club.
Yeah, Central felt, coming out after that first quarter that they were able to dominate that game. They really aggressively went after it right away and had St. John's on their heels. And I think everybody in the stands was thinking, man, this is going to be a game that we can take. But St. John's, with their tradition and the history that they have behind.